I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Hello, folks. Welcome back. This is Chris live in central Pennsylvania, where it's still Wednesday, February 12th, 2025. It's already February 13th. On the other side of the Atlantic, in Europe and in Africa, and much later over there in the Pacific, Japan, New Zealand, Australia. Welcome back. Pleasure to see you all again. I'll say hello to everybody in the chat here in just a second. We'll talk a little bit about news, do some reminiscent talk, but I'll give you also an update on what we don't know about the refugee program for South Africans. I will cover some op-ed pieces that are all just meant to tarnish America. And frankly, I'm getting quite sick of it. These are just pathological liars who don't have the decency to tell the truth. Instead of looking internally at your broke-ass country that the ANC has pillaged for 31 years, you want to blame America because we don't want to give you money that's our money. Frankly, it's nauseating. Not my guest. I'm talking about the government of South Africa and all the glitterati in the academia and in the media. Fred Barangas says, good morning. Finally got my name showing, so it was newsflash, and now people can know me as Fred. Okay, well, Fred, welcome. I thought we got a new viewer, but it's the same one. Thank you. Ilza Hugo says, good morning. For the Colonel's wise words. Well, thank you for that, Ilza. Also waiting for Trump to give some more info. There is no more info at this point. My family, okay. George, now watch everybody disappear because there's no info. You never know. The info could pop up while I'm sitting here. You remember, after all, Trump did put a tweet out, Kofifa, at 3 o'clock in the morning once upon a time. Arctic is sitting on a plane in Georgia with Starlink. Look at that, Starlink. All right, well, thank you for sharing that. Zordov, welcome to you. And Willem Janssen van Rensburg, welcome to you. And who else we got here in the chat? There's Arctic again. And 1 of 44. Storm Chaser's back. And there's Brett Sessoms. How's it going down there in Mississippi, my friend? Keith Alderson in from Coventry. Willem Diego out of Botswana. Okay, you're in Botswana. Excellent. Otsihidijang, eh? Kitsihidisently. Smee again is back again. Yo Mas Productor, welcome to you. Andrew Finley, welcome, Andrew. Who else got here? Crystal Fillon, sun is rising. There you go. Pray for rain. Well, a lot of people have been getting rain, so I don't know where you're at. Big country, South Africa. Patrick is in from Australia, I'm guessing again. Welcome to you, Patrick. And Mauricia Sneyman, good morning to you from Malmesbury. Edward Dos Santos, grab your coffee. No coffee for me, just sweet tea. Just sweet tea. Jean Telfun here, welcome to you. Freya Menzel, Jakes, Gideon. Where'd we go? Skipped ahead on me there. Okay. Shawnee Grows back. Hey, Shawnee, how's Minnesota tonight? Is it cold? We had snow. I had to shovel snow today. What's the unfun Rebecca villain? No, he wasn't a villain. Rebecca Fundevalt, Rebel Kenners, Carlo Cronier. Oh, by the way, next week on Monday, Venin Tutoy. The Site Letter Civil Defense Organization. Wednesday, Franz Cronier. And Friday, I think it is, Rob Hersoff on the program. Yes, and Yista. Well, you're very welcome, Maurice. Thank you for the kind words. Well, they had 22 years, Brett. We started PEPFAR in 2003 and began aid in the year 2003. It's been 22 years. It was a 5-year program, $15 billion. We actually spent $45 billion in those 5 years. Kenny Canara, welcome to you. Will we be able to go for a CDL license? When you talk about in America, if you live in America and you work here and you're a resident here or an authorized refugee, you can work in any industry you want as long as you qualify. Commercial driver's license simply requires the tests in whatever state you're going to get the license in. If you pass it, then you get the license. You become a truck driver. Chris, if you're sick of it, think how we feel. Sick of what? Oh, yeah, the nonsense. Yeah, gotcha. Sorry, I caught up there. Maintenance Guy says, thanks for keeping us updated and sharing your opinion and everything daily. It's the best I can do there, Maintenance Guy. Hopefully my government will get off its ass and get something done here soon. Did a video about Mzila Kazi and his land theft. Mind if I put the link? No, go ahead, Brett. You can put it in there if you want to go watch it. That's fine. Thank you for asking. Brett is a moderator. When I come to live in America, can I bring my Vuvuzela at night? And I don't like vuvuzelas. I had a very bad experience with a vuvuzela at Loftus Versfeld at the Denmark-Cameroon game. Some jerk-off was sitting behind me. I was almost the very top row under the overhang on the east side of the stadium. And he blew the whole thing the whole time, and his spittle dripped down on my shirt. It was so disgusting and inconsiderate rude. I just wanted to punch the guy out. But I wanted to start a race riot, so... New York weather whipped your butt twice this morning. What did you have to turn around and good lad? Joseph Hayes, good morning from the 52nd state. Just taking a Missouri license test. It's a very broad term. Yeah. All right. I suppose it's good enough for our government when they're supposed to be having a meeting about affairs of state. Can't complain about the cabin crew. All right. Yeah. So I was looking for something earlier down in the basement in my lair, and I came across this book, which I've had read in the past. It's Who Owns the World? The Surprising Truth About Every Piece of Land on the Planet and Who Owns It. Fascinating book. This is from 2010, so it's a little dated now. But Kevin Cahill wrote this book. Really good stuff, and it says really cool stuff. South Africa is also mentioned here, and that's one of the spots I've highlighted in here. It's definitely out of date at this stage, so let's see. It has South Africa with a population of like 43 million, so definitely out of place. Seychelles, South Africa, population 46 million, a little bit out of date there. And in the Economist Quality of Life Survey 2005, it was ranked 92nd of 111 countries. Inherent danger of retaining feudal superiority in a sovereign and a state and refusing citizens absolute ownership of land, basing its actions on its ownership of all physical land inherited from the British Crown in 1931. The apartheid regime confined the native people in South Africa. 75% of the population of 13% of the country, native lands called Bantustans. Inside the Bantustans, the apartheid regime operated tenure as a means of discrimination by designating which black African could have a lease according to the language he spoke. In the new South Africa, some old things survive. The land registry is actually a deeds registry, and the government does not guarantee title. There are deeds registries throughout South Africa, and they are busy as black people try to start the clock again after 200 more years of landlessness. Well, that's a lie. They haven't been without land for 200 years. They can't fucking break this. This is wrong. The new constitution guarantees the right to own property. Freehold tenure is encouraged. The South African Registrar General told the World Bank that there were 6 steps involved in registering land in South Africa, and that those steps took an average of 20 days at a cost of $14,125, proving it difficult for the ordinary South African to own property. Wow. There were 9,059,000 homes or dwellings. The farm census for 2001 revealed there were 150,000 farms. Nowhere near that now. And 943,000 farms in the area that used to be the former Bantustans. So that was that covers the whole world. But that's not the interesting part of South Africa. The interesting part is some of the other stuff that talks about how land is actually held and who owns land around the world. Mostly governments own all the land around the world, all the countries. Fascinating part about it. So. Hate vuvuzelas. Yep. Natasha Posthumus is back again. Good to see you there. De-ice freeze. Oh, yeah, gotcha, Arctic. Yeah, make sure you de-ice, man. That's what got Air Florida. Tired of the ANC covering up Southern's involvement in World War II. Yep, Brett. I've temporarily unfollowed all mainstream media on my Facebook. Cannot take the overdrive fakeness. Yeah, Patrick. It's beyond the pale. And I'm going to show you something tonight. The reason I show you is to debunk it and just dismiss it so you can decide for yourself. You don't have to agree with me. Make your decision on what you think the truth is. Brett thinks that John Steenhuisen has lost his way. Well, I don't think he's the only one. Today, there's a targeted smear article in the News 24 against Teo de Jager from SAAI. My guest was on the program last Monday. Or this Monday. Was it this Monday? Yeah. Teo was on the program, and he's now this target of smears. So, yep. Blood pressure doesn't respond well to stupid people yapping. Oh, yeah, exactly. Brett says, did the National Party merge with the ANC in 1994? No, that occurred later. They briefly tried to merge with the Democratic Alliance, and that failed, and then they went to the ANC. So let me show you, I don't want to say a treasured thing, but something that's kind of cool. So, of course, I was stationed in Germany during the Cold War in what was known as the Bundesrepublik Deutschland, the Federal Republic of Germany, that would be known as West Germany to most people colloquially. East Germany, which really isn't East Germany, it's Middle Germany. Mitteldeutschland, which was comprised of what is known as the German Democratic Republic, or the Deutsche Demokratische Republik, the DDR, or in German, DDR. So, in that inner German border, there were guard posts and fence posts and barbed wire and machine guns trained and towers to shoot people. Well, in order to make sure you didn't stray to the wrong side by mistake, they put up concrete posts and they put these signs on them. Very few people have these, but I have one. Check that out. So you can see it was mounted on there and had to scrape it off to take it off that concrete post. Yep. Yeah, that's like, I don't know if it's pewter or what it is, but that's like super cool. Super cool. How many people can say they have that? There's my memento from the Cold War that I fought. One of my mementos. Really cool. That is a piece of history, Nick. People have little pieces of, stone and brick and mortar that they claim is from the Berlin Wall. This is from the inner German border, and you cannot fake that. This is real. This is real. So I came across that this evening when I was trying to move some things downstairs. I thought you guys might find that interesting. Yep, pretty cool. My missus says the cat won't eat any strange food. Okay. Jeremy Downing, welcome to you. Truth is, KFC in America is better than KFC in Africa. Well, I think it's the opposite, Arctic. I don't eat KFC in America. I only eat it in Southern Africa, and all I eat is the Zinger Burger. That's the only thing I can stomach. Grandfather was in the RAF 77 mission, okay? Stasi was worse than KGB. Come now, you 3D printed that this morning between your 6 daily live streams. Yeah. Okay, so I was in San Francisco for the Sevens World Cup, and I don't usually buy stuff like this, but it was a nice memento and just one of the kitsch things they did. So the Sevens men's tournament, they didn't have this in Cape Town when I was there in 2022, but so there you go. It's kind of hard. Here you go. So there we go. So it's a coin, silver coin, sterling silver, men's tournament. On the back, it has the back side, and it has all the teams that participated. And, yeah. And this is actually made in the USA. Son of a gun. It's minted here in America. How rare is that? Anyway, I thought you might find that interesting. So there's all the teams that participated in the Sevens World Cup. That's in San Francisco. That's at the baseball stadium. So thought I'd share that as well. And Darius Joubert just became a subscriber. Thank you for that. Came across these. I hadn't seen these in a while. So very quickly, this is the 2009 HIV/AIDS Implementers Meeting, June 10th, June 14th, 2009, in Windhoek, Namibia. There you go. There's my HIV/AIDS entry badge for Windhoek, representing the U.S. government from Botswana in 2009. Okay. Then I have this 2010 PEPFAR annual meeting, which was in Arusha, Tanzania. This is a DoD meeting, and yep, same badge. And these had little stickies on the back. It's neat because they have all the phone numbers on the back. Wow. This one has the conference number, the Paradise Hotel, the transfer to the airport, but I drove there from Botswana. This one has the African Tulip, the Arusha Springs, Kibo Palace. Anyway, so this one is in Arusha, Tanzania in 2010. There you go. So. So, I do like to collect stamps. But where are they at? It's empty. Where are my stamps at? What the heck happened there? Stamps aren't there. That's odd. So here's a few, I think what's this? We'd been even more impressed with the sign if you'd shown it to us in 1988. Well, Keith, if I'd have shown it to you in 1988, I might not be here. I would have been shot. 40,000 subs. Not quite there, Dave. We're hoping we get there, but not going to make it tonight. Heidi Krug, I think, in my opinion, a lot of Southern journalists reporting with a gun to their heads. I think they're cowards then. How would you get our money out of this country? Well, that's something you're going to have to figure out. There are ways to do it, but that's not a concern of the U.S. government, and it's not something I can tell you how to do. There are ways to do it. I don't do rare comic books, but the thing is, the South African government has established conditions that limit how much money you can take out of the country. So, I mean, if you're looking to do something abroad and you're thinking about doing this, you might want to establish some sort of overseas bank account and move as much cash as you can, as soon as you can, and as often as you can within the limits of the law, so you build something up. Channel Islands, Cayman Islands, something like that, Malta. Yeah, Austria, that's another place does it. So this cap is a cricket cap from the ICC Cricket World Cup, one-day internationals in England and Wales 2019. I was there. Yep, I haven't worn this hat ever before since I bought it. Did you see an interview with the actual Afrikaans couple claiming the government's doing a great job? Yeah, I did see one of those. It's bullshit. This is all propaganda. So great. They're doing a great job. The government's doing a great job. Who freaking cares? Who cares? How is it germane to anybody's issue? This is all propaganda. You know when they have to go out and dig up Afrikaners and suddenly want to talk to white people to be on the news, that they're desperate. If they're not looking to put white people on television to prove that white people are inherently racist, then or embarrass them, then they're looking for them to cover for them. And anybody who goes on the media and lies, like Agri SA's Kotze, we're going to talk about him here in a little bit, laying cover fire down for the ANC, talking about how there's not this, there's not that. Well, no one claimed that and that. You coming up with that bullshit, just like the ANC and the media. There are no widespread confiscations. Well, no one claimed there's such a thing. There's no expropriation of that compensation. No one claimed that it had happened yet, but it's in the law. Anyway. Okay, Brett, take care. All right, folks, here's a couple. Now, see, this is what I hate about the Rugby World Cup, because these bastards stopped printing tickets. So let's see if these are in order. 22, 23, 25. Yeah, these are in order, I think. That's my receipts. I don't know if these are all my tickets. Let me see. It's just receipts there. So these aren't all the tickets, I don't think, are they? So this would be Wales versus Samoa. This is my first ever Rugby World Cup game. Sunday, September 18th, 2011. And this was in Waikato Stadium in Hamilton. There you go. There's my ticket, 2011. Now you don't get tickets. It's all electronic, and it's bullshit. I want tickets. So this is my second game. This was Thursday, the 22nd of September. And there's a big super chat. Man, thank you for that, Siv. Oh, my goodness. Your next pink drink is on me. Thank you for what you're doing. Well, that'll definitely pay for a drink. That'll pay for maybe a meal even after YouTube takes their cut. Thank you so much for that. That seemed very dance for my supper. What's dance for my supper? What sounds scripted? What are you guys talking about? Oh, you're talking about the Afrikaans people. That's what exactly it was. They probably got paid for that. So Thursday, September 22nd, 2011, North Harbour Stadium, which was a pain in the ass to get to, by the way, in Auckland. It wasn't that hard, but it was just kind of annoying. And this is where the Springboks won like 87-0 against Namibia. So unfortunately, they took the bottom of my ticket stub, bastards. The other ones, they didn't do that. So there you go. You can see the Wayne Webb Ellis trophy and that hologram there as I rotated around. So that's that one. Next one is Australia versus USA. This was at Wellington Stadium. This is the 23rd of September, 2011. This was really cool. I met an Australian couple, both of them in the Australian Air Force, and we hung out. And they said they knew the captain of the U.S. team. It wasn't Todd Clever. They weren't playing him that night. It was some kid named Tin Isis or something like that. Anyway, we went to this Irish pub after the game, walked back downtown, not too far from my hotel. And we got something to drink, and all these drunks were there, and people were hitting on everybody, and it was just not hitting, getting a fight, but, chatting people up. And I was bored with it. So, nothing ever happened. I'm like, hey, guys, I'm going to head back to my hotel. And then his phone rang. He goes, hey, they called. You still want to meet the team? I said, yeah, sure. And I figured, what the heck, I could always drop off and go to my hotel. We walked, about 2 blocks from where my hotel was, and we went to a hotel, and we walked into the downstairs room, and there was the U.S. national team. And I got to meet the players who played for the U.S. It was pretty cool. My next one was Sunday the 25th, and that was at Wellington Stadium as well. This was Argentina versus Scotland, and Scotland choked in this game. I was pulling for Scotland. I stayed in the hotel in Wellington where the Argentine national team stayed, and I was on the same floor. This was an interesting experience because the South African High Commission was based in Wellington, and most of the people who worked there were coloreds from South Africa. And I walked in with a Springbok jersey when I first stayed there because I stayed there for 3 or 4 days. And they greeted me in Afrikaans, and I said, "Goeienaand, ek praat nie Afrikaans nie." And the guy said in English, "Yeah, you do. You just spoke Afrikaans." And I said, "Okay, you got me." And he said, "Hey, come on over here, Boca." And so they rented the business center on the ground floor and turned it into like a lounge to celebrate the Springboks. And so they were plying me with free booze and free food. It was really nice. They were wonderful people. I'll never forget their hospitality. I got to meet the High Commissioner. She was nice, a colored lady, if I remember correctly. My next one was really interesting. This was over to the west in Taranaki in New Plymouth. This was Wales versus Namibia, and Namibia got slaughtered. It was their last game of the tournament, Monday, September 26, 2011, in New Zealand. It's pretty cool. Peter Lagrange says, what's your opinion about the 3 ministers that are coming over to negotiate with Trump? I don't know who the 3 ministers are. Have they been identified? And there's nothing to negotiate. So I don't know why they're coming here. There's nothing to negotiate. The handouts are gone, and it's done. So unless South Africa is offering something to get the handouts back, what are they negotiating? No, Kash Patel was delayed for a week, Storm Chaser. They pulled a parliamentary rule to delay it for 1 week. And Tulsi Gabbard was confirmed. She's already been sworn in. All right, so then my last game was Italy versus USA on Tuesday, September 27th, 2011. And they took my stub on this one, too. This was in Trafalgar Park down in Nelson on the South Island. Italy versus USA. I sat just a couple rows up. This was the hotel or bed and breakfast that I stayed in. The gentleman was there. He and his wife were getting a divorce. It was very, very awkward situation. He'd offered me a free ride when I booked it, so he gave me a ride to the stadium. From the airport. He picked me up from the airport and took me to the stadium. Yeah, that's not... Picked me up from the airport and took me to the hotel, and then I walked to the stadium. That's what it was, yeah. So that was pretty cool. That was New Zealand. South African government be notified of who exactly leaving? No. Why would we notify the South African government? And, I mean, I don't know that we're going to do that. Why? How would anybody know that? The program... Why do people keep asking questions that can't be known until the program is announced? But it's none of the South African government business who participates in our program. We don't care to tell them. I mean, normally people who are refugees are escaping persecution or they're, death, near death, or they're likely death or something like that. And so why would you tell the oppressive government that you're letting the people out of the country? Of course, they'll know who leaves when you leave because you'll go through a port of exit and you have a passport or travel documents. ID the guy was getting divorced. Then he had an empty seat in his car. Huh? Did you guys see Elon in the White House with this kid answering press questions? I didn't see it. I saw the photographs. We have this goat, Charmaine, here in South Africa. Chinese spy claims she knows the colonel. Nations tournament, field hockey. Okay. All right. John Steenhuisen, Peter Herneveld, and Gate McKenzie. Well, Steenhuisen's the wrong guy to send because he's already shown his disdain for Donald Trump, and I'll make sure that tweet from 2016 gets to the White House. Peter Herneveld, right guy to send. Gate McKenzie, you're taking your risk there. Taking a risk there. Yeah, so there's nothing to negotiate. Nothing to negotiate. I'm going to have to... they're not the only ones coming. So where did you get the information from, Peter LaGrange? Because I've seen nothing posted anywhere on that. Is that on a government website or something like that? And thank you for sharing that. Peter Herneveld is definitely a good choice. John Steenhuisen is not a good choice. He's revealed his true colors about Donald Trump, and he's just going to go sing for his dinner. All right, so I went to the 2011 or 2012 Olympics. I was stationed in Germany, just like I was when I went to New Zealand for the rugby. And the Olympics in London were amazing, but what happened is that I had no tickets because I originally wasn't going to be in Europe. I was going to be stationed in Chad, and I got diverted the year before to Germany instead. And so I never bought tickets. I'd never been to the Olympics. I've always wanted to go to the Olympics. I tried to go to the Olympics in Lillehammer in 94, just never got. So my first Olympics, and only thus far, was I was going to go to Japan, but then the COVID nonsense, but was in London in 2012. But I had no tickets, and so I wasn't going. And then because the Olympic Committee handed out so many tickets to national Olympic committees, and what happens is that they get, every event, like here's 50 tickets for Mongolia, here's 50 tickets for Trinidad, here's 50 tickets for America. And there's so many countries that Michael Phelps was setting world records in the swimming pool in London, and there were like 20 people in the crowd. It was a bad picture of television because nobody could get tickets because they kept them for their friends and family and not for the general public. So the Olympic Committee took those tickets back from many of those countries that weren't using them and put them back in the pool. But because it was already the Olympics underway, what they did is rather than make it available to anybody in the world because they figured it was too hard to travel from outside Europe, they made the tickets available to people that were living in Europe. Well, I was living in Germany. I wasn't a German national, but living in Germany. So I went and bought tickets, and I bought tickets to every game I could, or every event I could, and then I also went to events that didn't require tickets. So my first event was August 3rd. It was diving at the Aquatic Center, and it was boring as all get out. This was an incredibly expensive ticket. You don't even know how much. That was very expensive. That cost me a fortune. So that was that one. Lots of people viewing your show this evening. Your show is growing. Well, I hope so, Courtney. But it's a lot slower than it was the last few nights. Neil DeBeer is also a good candidate. Go. Yeah, Neil is. Imagine being ruined by a talking goat. Well, it's no different than having a talking horse, just into Ardhern. So the next was I went to Cardiff to Millennium Stadium for South Korea versus Team GB for soccer. I sat in the very top row. I don't think I could walk up to the top row of that stadium today. I'd walked all the way to the top. That was a long hike. Then I went and saw diving on August 5th at the Aquatic Center once again. This was a lot cheaper than the other ticket, but still way too expensive. The Olympics is for rich people. I had to waste a lot of savings money to go to these events. Then I went to another football game. I can't remember what this one was. This USA and Japan, I think maybe. They just have the game. It doesn't have who played. This was really good ticket. I got a booth. I went through the Bobby Moore entrance, and this was at Wembley, and this was soccer. That was pretty cool. So people didn't want to go to the soccer at the Olympics, so I got to go. And I also got to the gold medal game, USA versus Japan, I think it was. Yeah, I don't think that was the one. Then I went to volleyball at Earl's Court. This was pretty good. It's a nice photograph I have myself at Earl's Court. That was a bit pricey. That was August 8th. So you see, I keep all these things. And then I went to the marathon at Hyde Park, which is surprising you needed a ticket for, but that's to get a seat. So I got a ticket for that, the marathon, which was pretty cool. And then another soccer game. I think this is the gold medal game, if I'm not mistaken. That's at Wembley again. Yep. I'm leaving for Tokyo. I'll be there for a month. Wow, that sounds awesome. Right now in Tokyo, it is 1:30 in the afternoon. Basketball, this was pretty good. I think this is the Australia game, the Australia women. And this was at North Greenwich Arena, which is down in the bend of the Thames River. And then this was basketball as well. This was the last one I went to. I went to 13 events, I think. So these are the ticketed ones. But the 50-kilometer run walk, that you didn't need a ticket for. I was there for that and other events. Yep, so that's that stuff. Do you know that an investigation proved that Freedom Front Plus votes were allocated to ANC? Peter Cronf spoke about that. Could you follow up with him? What votes, what election, what are you talking about? There was complaints about the 2021 election. I've not seen anything about the 2024 election related to that. Fred Favregruber, Trump didn't intimate. He said he talked to Putin on the phone, and they're going to meet in Saudi Arabia to discuss peace terms in Ukraine. And someone said that the grifter-in-chief, Volodymyr Zelensky, will be there too, but I don't know. In 2011, before I went to the World Cup, and I was in Germany, and the FIFA Women's World Cup was taking place, and I went to the Rhein-Neckar Arena in Sinsheim, where I watched Nigeria and France play. Women's FIFA World Cup. So I think that's my only FIFA World Cup I've ever been to. Oh, I'm sorry, that isn't the only one. This is really cool. These were nice tickets. This is USA versus Ghana in Rustenburg, Royal Bafokeng Stadium. This was very expensive. Oof, this cost me a fortune, but it was worth it. It was an exciting game, even though we lost. So that's the 2010, man. So I've been to 2 FIFA World Cups, even though they're boring as all get out. All right, so, yep. South Africa was bidding for the 26 Olympic Games. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Can I bring my sushi maker? I don't know about that. The propaganda and gaslighting selling media reminds me of this quote by Martin Niemöller. First it came from... Yeah. Well, I thought that was attributed to Bonhoeffer. Maybe it was... I don't know who that guy is, but I know who Bonhoeffer is. So, yeah. So this is from Auckland, New Zealand. It's the Sky Tower, which is pretty cool. You get a nice view. It's a big TV tower up there. It's a little, typical touristy thing. So you open it up, and it's got this Maori stuff there, and then check it out. So it's a panorama. And look what jersey I'm wearing. Yep, 2011 Springbok jersey. Yep, and it came with a couple other photos that came along with it, so, like postcards there, so. It's just green screen behind you there, and Auckland. Andre Janssen van Rensburg. You see not many people are, nice view of the place. Yeah, it's beautiful. Have you been up there, Venom? Not many people are subscribing tonight, so it's really slowed down. Right, only soccer team worth watching is West Ham. Steve Bannon made a good point. There is no mass protest because Doge has uncovered so much corruption. Yeah, and they're railing against it. It's like listening to the South African government and the leftists complain about, hey, folks, look at that big super chat. That's going to stay up for the whole stream. 1,400 Rand from Civ. Thank you for that. That's really, really awesome. I haven't had a big super chat like that in a while. I've had them in the past, but not recently. Whoops. Pictures are getting bent over here. Gosh bless it. I don't know what happened here. I was at the New York Knicks game. and Madison Square Garden. And there's my picture there. Johan Stunder, thank you for subscribing. People are waking up. Yeah, I know you're right, Chantel, but since this thing has started and I started doing these late night broadcasts, people have found me. They found a way to be up for this. So I don't know what's going on now. What's this? Okay. This is another one. There's nothing inside it. I must have taken the stamps and put them somewhere else. Okay. Oh, yeah, this was cool. Excuse me. Waitomo. This was the glowworm caves in New Zealand. This is pretty cool. Nice spot. Okay. So there's a picture of people going through on the boat. Yep. And I'm in the back, barely in the picture. Got put in the back of the damn boat, bastards. Anyway, yeah, so talks about how the glowworms work and everything. So what's this? It's a picture from Ethiopia. I think the guy on the left might have been the South African attaché that I knew from Zambia, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to remember. I think the people are not watching now as no notification. Exactly. And that's what I said, Fred. I said what's going to happen is that I'm grateful everybody subscribed, but a lot of these people that subscribed only subscribe because they're looking to find out about how they can get the hell out of South Africa. And then once I give them the information, I'll never see them on my channel again. As long as you subscribe, that's good. But it was nice and is nice having 700, 800 people show up at streams, which is what we had today on our stream. But we were getting them at night too, so I'm missing that already. Who are you interviewing today? Nobody. I have nobody scheduled for today. I just started doing a bunch of interviews again. So this is Faroe Islands flag. Here's the fan guide from the 2011 World Cup for New Zealand. These were free. So I get all the information on all the venues, fan zones, the stadiums, what they look like. Oh, here's a... This was my ticket to the Akon concert on the 15th of April 2008 in Liberia. Akon. Yep. It's pretty cool. That's the Sky Tower again. There's my ticket for it. I paid 28 New Zealand dollars to go in there with my visa. Superstore 2011 World Cup. Got to that. And here's ticket guide for the FIFA 2010 World Cup. Yep, that's pretty cool for South Africa. So my ticket was in there. And there's all the venues and everything. Greenpoint Stadium. Yep. And this is New Zealand. This is the program for the World Cup there. The world has come to play. Anyway, back to the chat. Keep viewers, you got to make shit up while waiting, Chris. We see how that works. I'm making shit up. That is old school. Well, I knew Akon. I met him. I got photographs with Akon and I together. Yep, that's when he was huge. Before he came out with his crypto and building his city in Senegal. This is from the 2011 World Cup from Visa. What do we got here? Hopefully nothing embarrassing. What's this? Oh yeah, this is from Åland Islands. I collect stamps. This is the first day edition of stamps from the Åland Islands in Finland. Okay, forgot I had that. To be honest, folks are starting to wake up. As a majority, including me, have been using News 24 main source. Well, yep. Barrett Geldenhuis, I literally do keep the receipts. I mean, not just for my research, not just for the things I tell people, but as you just saw, I literally keep the receipts. And there's the Sky Tower receipt right there on the back of that. Yep. So here's another receipt. This is for the Imperial Hotels in London, and it's Russell Square, and I paid £95 for this room. Ouch. 3 August. Yeah. Wow. London 2012 shop for the Olympics. It's a postcard from there. This is great. This is from the Olympics too. Krauts celebrate the games of the German Fan Fest. I went to the German Fan Fest. That was a lot of fun. Although that is not a very good photograph. It looks like it's on an OnlyFans advertisement. Yaku Kotsi, American Football for Men. Rugby's for Warriors. Yep. Okay. What's this? It looks like another receipt. Oh, this is for a phone I bought. Yeah. 109 pounds. Carphone Warehouse. Used to be an awesome place to get phones back in the day. Here's this is the 2012 Olympics postcard from the German team. The Austrian team had this for Tyrol sticker. Team Ireland had this. Hey, Ravani. It's a ticket to the Baltimore Orioles versus Detroit Tigers in 2010. What else we got here? Olympic Park map from the Olympics, the volleyball venue, the football, marathon, swimming, Earl's Court map, that was for the volleyball. And this is, what is this? Oh, that's a SIM card, which is obviously no good anymore. Your new mobile SIM number is, expires on 30 April 2013. Yeah, obviously I'm not using that. I won't show you all these because there's a lot of repetitive stuff, but they had a travel card, so you got a good price for the Olympics buying tickets. So that was for the tube, and there's what's this one here? Oh, that's why I had to buy a train ticket to get to Cardiff to Paddington Station, train ticket. Yep. This is the Irish Olympic House. I went there. That's where I got that green thing. Anyway, Coca-Cola. You get your picture taken with a Coca-Cola thing. I did that. So anyway, list goes on. Oh, there's my ticket. I flew on German wings from Stuttgart to London, and I was in seat 2D, German wings. Anyway, boring you with that stuff, I'm sure. So that's enough of that. Put those things back. A little map of London in there. That's nice. So I hope I didn't lose everybody. Cool beans. As you can see, I literally keep the receipts. There's no BS to that. Yeah, well, I mean, it's nice to see how much we're getting ripped off with inflation and our dollar being worth nothing, or our rand being worth nothing years later. I mean, when I lived in Botswana, petrol was 450 rand a liter. It seems like a lifetime ago now. It wasn't that long ago. Okay, put the photographs back in here, and somehow these empty, I think I put these stamps in a cellophane thing upstairs. Anyway, that box is like my craft room. The more you look, the more distracted you get by all the cool stuff you find again. Yeah, well, you have to look at it occasionally. American farmers are pretty incredible. Tyler, welcome back to you, Sudden Strike Gaming Channel. I'm 47X South African military, old school. There you go. Dave says, goodbye, my day is starting. Oh, I thought you were leaving because I had the box out. Ruvani says, guten Tag. And Todd, good morning. Appreciate your news and entertainment. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. Chris, on a sentimental journey. You're a busy man, my friend. Always, yeah. Johan Murray, welcome to you. For you rugby fans, Super Bowl champion Philadelphia. Congratulations to the Eagles. Tobias says, Chris, how are you? What are your thoughts on Tulsi Gabbard confirmation? I think she's going to be great. I disagree, Tobias. I'm a professional intelligence officer and have worked at every level of intelligence, from tactical to operational to strategic, from the military to the national intelligence community to the White House and Defense Intelligence Agency, National Security Agency, and everything in between. I'm a signals intelligence officer, a tactical intelligence officer, a strategic intelligence officer, and a counterintelligence agent, among other things. And I think she's woefully unqualified for the office. She's never led any more than 3 or 4 people, so she has no broad enterprise experience. At her age, she should have some degree of enterprise experience leading big teams. She has never run big budgets. As a major, I ran a $3 billion budget, 60 billion rand at NSA, and she's never done that. She's a lieutenant colonel in the National Guard. I'm not denigrating her. I'm just telling you my views on it. And I think she's not a good selection for that. I think there is a place for her. She would have been a great choice to be the UN ambassador, among other things, but I don't think she's a good choice for the director of national intelligence. I really don't understand why Trump picked her for that. There are far better qualified people. So anyway, that's my thought on it. I hope she will be great, but nobody will know if she's great. The only people that know if she's great are people inside the intelligence community, because you won't see what she does. You only see what she does from the inside, not from the outside. So I wish her well, but I'm not convinced she's the right person. But I'm happy to be wrong. Most of the other picks I'm pretty happy about. So Sudden Strike Gaming wants to join the border guard. Any advice? Well, we don't have a border guard, so I have no advice. We don't have any such thing. There is no Bundesgrenzschutz here in the United States. Kind of knew what was going on in the fourth quarter. Are you talking about the Super Bowl there? I just traveled South Africa. Never felt any travel overseas, says Willem. Anton. Okay. All right. Who are we missing here? Are we missing anybody? All right. So what's that? Oh, Brady Vaymont is just subscribed. Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate that. By the way, folks, let me take a look at that. We had a much lower turnout in viewers, but the subscribers numbers were stronger today than they were yesterday. See, it's based on in West Coast time, so it's really only 8:46 there. So it'll be another 3 hours before these numbers are finalized, which will give it a chance to boost. But looking at the numbers, yesterday we finished at 37,996 subscribers. Today we're at 39,385. So that's 1,389 more subscribers, which is better than yesterday. Cool. At this rate, we'll hit 40,000 today if things go well. But the number of people watching has dropped precipitously. So it's 2,400 in this hour. And last night at midnight, there was 3,600. So we've got a long way to go to match that. But anyway, I'm just keeping you informed so you know what's going on. And the revenue dropped below a threshold I had set yesterday, but still better than any day in the past several months till recently. So cool beans. All right. So another thing I wanted to show before we get into some of this news. Now, this will just show you just how humble and non-pretentious I am. These are challenge coins, not even remotely my whole collection. These are challenge coins that were at my desk when I retired from the Army. I stuffed them in this plastic bag. I put them in the basement. Not that I don't value them, but I just don't rah-rah them. So they've been sitting down there for 5 years in this plastic bag. So these are things I kept on one of my bookshelves at work. But let me show you this first. So when the Doge guy said that we're buying condoms overseas, they misrepresented or misstated what was going on in Gaza. But we do, in fact, buy condoms. We buy millions of condoms. In fact, we bought these condoms. Sequata Chile for Botswana. This is, so I wouldn't want to use these. These are now almost 20 years old. Yeah. So Smeagan's got to start packing and finding somewhere else to live. Okay. You will have a viewer explosion once the refugee program detail comes out. Maybe, Willem. Probably people will go to other channels where people don't know what they're talking about and give them bad advice. Want to bet that happens? Now, these are some pretty cool ones. I'll do my best to show you these, but this one here, I'm trying to see who this was from. America's Finest. I don't remember who this was. This is one of the coolest looking challenge coins I ever got. This looks like one of those Death Stars you throw at people for ninja stuff. Check that out. It's huge. Oh, it's a Marine support group. That's what it is. Yeah, that's some Marine guards around the embassies. That's one of their headquarters. I think I got that from them. So that's pretty cool. This is from the Commanding General for Excellence from the United States Army Security Assistance Command. Yep, 2-star general who came over to Africa. The Army's face to the world. So it's pretty cool in there. Good morning, Colonel. I fully agree with you. Tulsi was not a good choice. Donald should have someone with your experience and knowledge. Well, me, but it doesn't have to be me, but there are plenty of people that could fit that. Courtney's given $2 super chat. Any thoughts on the Super Bowl halftime show? Courtney, I didn't watch the show. I could give two shakes of a rat's ass about the NFL. They're treasonous, race supremacist, and black supremacist, and race merchants, and I don't care. I don't care to be lectured to a league where 65% of the players are black when they're only 11% of the population, and I'm told that we live in a systemically racist country when every major position in the sport has been dominated by black players, not because they're better, but because the league wants that. We've seen a plethora of horrible black quarterbacks, and they're just there because they're black. And I don't like being lectured to by people taking a knee and telling me they don't mean to insult soldiers or veterans. No, I'm a patriot, and you insulted me as a patriot, not as a soldier. Stand for the anthem or leave the stadium. Simple as that. Show respect. It's comical. The U.S. women's rugby team at the World Cup in New Zealand 2022 was supposed to be in 2021, but the cowards delayed it. The U.S. women's team took a knee for Black Lives Matter in 2022. That stuff ended in 2020. Took a knee while the women of color that they played from the Pacific Islands and from Japan stood, sang the anthem of their countries, put their hands over the heart. So screw people like that. This is from the Pentagon. This one here. coin. So I never watched it, Courtney, and I won't be watching it unless the Colts make it to the Super Bowl. And so United States Army. This one wasn't for excellence, just one that I got, someone gave to me. Thank you for subscribing, David Bloomberg. Okay. What else? Nobody in the bar you were watching the football had any idea the halftime show guy was. I didn't even see it. Camo condoms, yeah. So this one is, I can't even read it because it's kind of blended in together after all these years. This is, if you ain't 571st, you're last. Haha, that's good. Contingency Response Group. Oh, this is Airborne Contingency Response Group, yep. And they, it's from U.S. Air Forces Africa, I think it is. So that's pretty cool. The 571st. This is from the United States Army War College, class of 2017. That's not my class. That's a class that I was a professor for, so I got the coin. Got a U.S. Marine golf shirt with flag on it, which I got from U.S. Soldier in Tanzania. That's cool. You must invite Connie Mulder from Solidaritate and Professor Koos to your podcast. I don't know either one of them, Annabelle. What would they talk about? This is Marine Security Guard Detachment. Which one's this? This is another one of those crazy ones. This is from, this is Mauritania. Check that out, coin, man. Look at that. That's crazy. That thing weighs a ton. This is from Mauritania. I was stationed in Mauritania. They didn't have these when I was stationed there, actually. They got them when I came back on a visit to teach at the G5 Sahel Defense College. And so that's when I got that. They gave it to me then. Walter Reed National Military Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland. So that's the Army hospital. Well, it's Joint Forces now. Don't know much about football, Colonel, but I know Peyton Manning is my favorite QB. Yeah, Peyton Manning was my favorite QB too. Courtney's going to bed at 8:30. What are the challenge coins? Are they mental gifts or recognition? Nick, the challenge coins started in the early 1980s, if I'm correct about this, in the U.S. Army. We started it. I could be wrong, but that's the history I know because they weren't anywhere else. The Army started it, and it was intended to be a reward, short of giving a military decoration or a ribbon to a soldier for excellence. And my first coins were all given for excellence. Then it caught on, and it became kind of a collector's and cachet thing. So commanders would hand them out for excellence, but they also hand them out just because they went somewhere. They're commanders. You're not allowed to buy these with funds, so people buy these out of their own pocket usually, or they have a little slush fund and they throw money together. Is he pushing Bud Light? That's surprising. I've never seen that. Okay. Colegio. Okay. Secretary of the Navy Ray Mabus. This guy is one of those deep state clowns who uses his government position for his own purposes. United States Navy and Marine Corps. So he was the Secretary of the Navy. He came to Ethiopia when I was there. And his team were a bunch of jerk-offs. They were really a bunch of assholes. They treated us like subhumans, and they treated our ambassador like crap. And in the end, we found that his whole purpose of coming there was because he had lived in Ethiopia when he was younger and married to another woman. And his wife divorced him and took all of his artwork that he had acquired in Ethiopia. So he used a government trip and an excuse to come to Ethiopia to buy artwork to replace what was missing from his house. Yep. Yeah. This one here is from Task Force Africa 133, Marine Air Ground Group. Okay. And from the 4th Marine Division, based in Italy. This one's in a diamond shape. You drove in Ray Mabus's motorcade in 2016. Okay. That was 2015 when he, or 2016 when he came to Ethiopia. No, 2015. This was presented for excellence. This is from the Force Protection Division, especially. These are counterintelligence folks. This is Air Force OSI gave me this for helping them with an operation. So, yep. And what else? I can't believe the NFL is discriminatory against white players. You're being facetious, right, Edward? Yep. USMC birthday ball. The Marine Corps had a coin made for their birthday ball. That's how kitsch and commercialized this has become. They had coins made just for the birthday ball. Yeah. So, yeah. But I was at that ball. So I got one. What do you got here? What else? This one's kind of cool. This is the Deputy Chief for Military Affairs. What is this? Hang on. Oh, this is the Air War College, class of 2015. I taught at the Air War College as well. So, yeah, this is the Air War College coin. Sorry. Trying to figure this one out. So they made a coin each year for each class. So I had coins made when I was a commander, and we paid out of pocket, and they were made in Korea. This is Defenders of Freedom. It's the just member of the armed forces. Nothing special there. South Embassy has issued an update on X. You've probably already reported on it. Not if it came tonight. I was at, so U.S. Embassy, Pretoria, is that what you're talking about? Don't say South African Embassy, because South African Embassy is in Washington. U.S. Embassy, South Africa. 8 hours ago. That's not new. That's nothing. That's the same thing. All he did was put up an image. That's not an update. Oh. That's nothing new. They're just wasting your time and mine. Just wasting your time and mine. It's just a picture. It's a graphic saying the same thing they already put out. Cold Wolf says, I sent you a debate. Johannes Armbach, he is running an anti-Trump campaign and getting young men to agree with him that we should stay here. Well, whatever. Stay where you want. You want me to debate Johannes Armbach? Who is Johannes Armbach? Never heard of him. Well, it won't be much of a debate. I'm not here to tell people to go to South or leave South. There you go. So he's on TikTok. He's on Twitter. Okay. Pro-white activists stand for freedom of the Boer, Afrikaner people. South Africa's the land of the white man. We can only be free if we govern ourselves.
Political groups that you're talking to, the farmers that you're talking to, how Trump can help bring awareness? What are your hopes?
People are very hopeful with the fact that Trump, acknowledged the fact that there is wrongdoing in South Africa. Your country and everything that you love could be lost within an instant. And
I'm not familiar with the guy. You want me to debate him about whether people should stay or go? What's the question? What do you want me to debate him about? Love the fact the Marine Corps passed their adults with flying colors. Shows pass their audits. Okay. Peter Renica, welcome to you. Are they still saying this after debacle? Saying what? Why would you want to debate anyone who wants to go or stay? Anyone can make, exactly, Arctic. That's my point. So I don't know what he wants me to debate. U.S. Embassy in Pretoria demonstration in favor of Trump. I'll be there. Okay, well, I've asked anybody that's going to go if they want to call in. I'll make a link for people to call in, and we can get feed. If you're going to be there, once again, please make videos. Make them at least 15 seconds long, okay? 30 seconds is ideal. And then do not take videos like this. That's useless. Remove your cover, for starters. But do not take videos like this. Make sure you take your video like this, okay? Grasp your phone. Don't put your fingers in front of the lens, okay? And then don't do this, okay? Okay, if you're going to pan that Yogi Bong, welcome. All right, okay. So, and then you can send them to me in WhatsApp and or one of the WhatsApp groups, and I'll put them up, and I can take phone calls from people coming in on WhatsApp during the event if you want. I've done this before. I did it for Senecal. I did it for Senecal 2. I did it for Brackenfell. I did it for the Jab March to Pretoria, the EFF, and for Phoenix. Done it for a lot of things. So, yep. The march is Saturday. I don't have the time. I have to get up really early for that. But right now I'm up anyway, so we'll probably segue right into it. United States Army Africa, Security, Stability, and Peace. This one looks like it's getting kind of old. This is from the Commanding General. That was for excellence. I was given that by the 2-star general from Army Africa out of Vicenza. Okay, and this is the Sergeant Major from Army Africa. He gave me his as well. 7 a.m. at the embassy. Well, that's going to be midnight from here. That's going to be easy. Do not protest. Don't go demand. Just go. Dave, thank you. EFF will be there. Yeah, the EFF will be there to annoy you. Yep, there's going to be some trouble from people like that. This is from the Defense Intelligence Agency, and this was awarded for outstanding service. General Leacock. General Leacock, who was, I knew at Africa Command, then went to work at the Defense Intelligence Agency, and I worked with him when he came back to Africa. And he came to Botswana specifically, if I recall, and another place I was at. So General Leacock, a reservist, gave me that coin for excellence. I'm in Army Military Intelligence, so that's what this one is. There's our symbol. If you ever watched the original Battlestar Galactica, the pilots wore that emblem. That's what they wore on their collars to show that they were pilots. But it's a military intelligence symbol. Get a drone to film if you can. Well, wouldn't that be nice? Hey, Garrett, what's going on? Of course, that's what we want to do, is understand that we're going to show support for U.S. moves against South Africa. Steel ships, Iron Men. Okay. This is United States Navy. What does it say? States. That's not states. Yeah, my name was supposed to be engraved in that. Never got on it. I think that was from SEAL Team, if I remember correctly. Oh, here's the SEAL Team. Yeah, SEAL Team 2. SEAL Team 2 gave me this one for excellence. Navy Special Warfare. SEAL Team 2. So you see I've worked with those guys. Afrikaners must support, otherwise what message we give President Trump? Well, President Trump's not listening for the message. I'm not trying to discourage you, but whether people show up on Saturday or not, it's not going to affect President Trump. This is from Marine Security Detachment in Lilongwe, Malawi. I was stationed there. That's a bulldog, Marine. And there's Malawi, the warm heart of Africa on the back map. Okay. This is a tiny selection of the ones. I have boxes and boxes of them downstairs. But you see, I don't like put all this stuff up and, look at me, look at me, look at me. Just look at it occasionally. This is the John F. Kennedy Special Warfare Center. Yep. And, yep. So Special Warfare Center in Fort Bragg. It's renamed Fort Bragg again. Fort Liberty is out. Fort Bragg is back in style. And Freedom is back in style. This is the Army War College class of 2014. That's the coin for the graduates of 2014. Okay. Malawi is beautiful. Yep, CC. South African intelligence agents get participation badges. Yeah. These days they do. And what's this? Is this PEPFAR? Let me see. Political Military Affairs, Military Security Cooperation, Intelligence. And this is the Foreign Area Officer Association. Oh, yeah, I was a member of the Foreign Area Officer Association. That's what this is. So being a FAO. This one is the Command Chief. That's like the Command Sergeant Major for Air Forces Africa. So you guys have gotten used to the ANC way of doing things. Protesting embassies is only going to annoy the Marine Guard. No, not really, because the Marine Guard sits nowhere near the crowd. If you've been to Hatfield, our embassy sits way back. We have huge standoff, and we have barriers, so that somebody try to, run a bomb in there, it would blow up outside and wouldn't affect the building. Yeah, the Marine Guards are nowhere near the gate. You have to go through local security up near the street before you ever get to Marine Guards. You don't even see the Marine Guard unless you get through the security, which means you won't. This one is United States Army, full colonel. Yes, it's just colonel's coin. That's all it is. That one's nothing special. Okay. And what do we got here? Well, I'll get running out here, folks. Almost done with these. This one I can't even read. I think that's, I'm not even sure which that one is. I think it's another Air War College from a different year. Rogue Hero Series, very good. Don't know it. Don't know it. This is the Award for Excellence by Colonel Al Rumfrey. That's a friend of mine. Office of Security Cooperation, Monrovia, Liberia. This is ironic. Colonel Rumfrey replaced me. I was a lieutenant colonel. He was a full colonel. He was my replacement in Liberia, and I replaced him not directly, but was a chief that replaced him in Botswana years after he was there. And then he came back and replaced me again in Botswana. By then, I'd been a full colonel. But because I rebuilt the army, he had these coins made. I didn't have any coins. And then he gave me this coin for excellence for Liberia. It was pretty cool when I came back there. So, yep. This one's from the Inspector General, the United States Africa Command, because I did investigations for them, and I did an excellent job, so they gave me that. Inspector General. This one is for excellence, and this one is from the National Defense University, NDU, capstone event, because an exercise that I did with them, so they gave me that coin. Start following you to get the right information. No one else has the ability to explain things as correctly as you do. Thank you. You're welcome, Johan. I would ask that you please tell other people and ask them to watch my content. And we have been asking people here to go watch the Groot Constantia documentary that I did in 2022, which is on this channel. You just search for Groot Constantia. And for those who don't speak Afrikaans and you think my G's are bad, it's Groot, like I am Groot Constantia. And you'll find that on this channel, we went from 1,000 to 1,300 views. So more people can get to watch it. It'd be awesome. The National Naval Postgraduate School in Monterey, California. That's what this is. I was out in Monterey. I went to language school, learned French out there. It's a beautiful area. I wouldn't want to live there full time, though. And we're almost done. Okay, what's this one? Oh, this is my coin. Is it? Yeah. I think this is one mine. It doesn't look like mine. Hang on, let's see which one this is. I have my own coin in Italy. See, that super chat is still up there. Man, that's awesome. No, this is not mine. This is this is Bridge Tech. Oh, this is a private company, Bridge Technologies. Bridge Tech, they have their own coin, a little bulldog on it. This is a company. That's how out of control it got. There are companies and businesses coming up with these things now, not just military units. Everybody has to have a coin. What's this one? Oh, this is from South Africa. Is it not? Oh, yeah. This one that's kind of a cherished one. I like this one. You guys might like this. There's a lot of South Africans here right now. Hang on. I'm trying to take it out of the plastic. These plastic, just over time, they get sticky and fade. This is super cool. So this is the U.S. Embassy Pretoria, South Africa. And it's a Marine Security Guard detachment. Check this one out. That's what our Marines have there for their coin. The big South African eagle with the U.S. flag, the South African flag, horns on the bottom, and check out the back. That's kind of cool. That's a nice coin. Yeah, that's from our embassy. I went there to investigate a service member. I was sent down there from Stuttgart to investigate an Air Force officer who's accused of wrongdoing, and it was bogus. He didn't do anything wrong. So it took a while to sort it out, and I spent a few weeks down there doing an investigation. Oops. Folks, if you're new to YouTube and you're responding to somebody, it's very helpful if you put the @ symbol and their username so that people know who you're talking to. Otherwise, I think you're trying to talk to me, and usually people aren't. This is from Siemens for outstanding performance because they did some work with me in Africa. Siemens, the German company, gave me a commander's coin. I need multiple shadow boxes, 144, multiple shadow boxes. And this one is from, it's just the engineer. This one's kind of a cool one. It's from Presented for Excellence. This is the 101st Airborne Division. Gave this to me. I went and taught them about Africa at Fort Campbell. And so they gave me this. This is a super cool coin. Check it out. This thing spins. How cool is that? There's the Screaming Eagle. That is so cool. On the back, they've got the Colonel's rank. Thank you, Hans Furry. The Colonel's rank, the Sergeant Major's rank. This is coin number 138. They're numbered. 138. You probably can't read it because it's fuzzy, but that's 138. That's a collector's item right there. The 101st Airborne, a legendary unit. On the back, they've got Never Forget. They've got Vietnam, Southwest Asia, Operation Enduring Freedom, and a whole bunch more. So, yep, pretty cool. And then I've got more condoms. Anyway, so that's just a small sampling of them, and just thought I'd share that with you. A very bad attack on Motorport. Okay, what happened there? Oops, what's going on over here? Are we not connected anymore? Okay, YouTube is acting up again. Looks like it just crashed. Yeah, it crashed. I wonder if I'm still live. Okay. No, the Rangers and Green Berets are different things. Rangers are one thing, Green Berets are something else, and they're not part of the 101st. It's an air assault division. They use helicopters to land and to be deployed. Okay, is this thing working again? Hang on. Yeah, it is. Okay, cool beans. All right, now I got to get rid of this. There we go. Okay, yeah, so the 101st is the Screaming Eagles. They were at Bastogne in World War II, and they've been all over the world. They were in the Gulf War, been every conflict, like the 82nd. They're a go-to division. Their base has other units, sensitive classified units. They're world famous. Well, they're not supposed to be what they are. That's kind of heavy. Okay, so put it down there. Okay. Oh, that was fun. There was a guy who made one for Demolition Ranch. Okay. You need people, then people need shorter usernames. Shorter usernames for what? Yeah, there are restrictions on flying drones near the embassy. I don't know what the distance is. Living in South Africa my entire life has been tense. I don't diss the demo, bro, and especially don't call it stupid. Our voices are being heard. What is Luke saying? Ruvani Frybus, how's it going there? I have a small drone. Yeah, I don't know if you can do it. Yeah, you guys like that coin. It's pretty cool. Andre Funbillion, welcome to you. Zane DeVille. So the DA seems to have a lot of support, lost a lot of support. Who would vote for that? Yeah, they have lost a lot of support. I mean, people are just really angry. Marinda Aldridge, good morning to you. Johan Murray. And Gideon. Travel a lot for work. Burkina Faso, Sierra Leone, Kenya, Tanzania, DRC, Congo. I worked with Celtel. Oh, I know Celtel. Yep, good times back then. It was exciting when it was spreading all over the continent, that's for sure. Rudy says, do you think that the globe is in a societal and economic decline? No, I think it's in a rebirth. It's a resurgence. Viktor Orban held the line, and then governments in Europe began to turn the tide against this leftist nonsense, and then Donald Trump returned, and we reached the mountain, and now we're rebuilding the golden city on the hill, and it's happening all over the world. The tide is turning. The British government now, under Keir Starmer, the fascist in chief, has told the United States diplomatically that it's willing to back off of its censorship and imprisonment of people for memes and Facebook postings and violating their freedom of speech. And they're doing that because they don't want Donald Trump to apply tariffs to the UK. So yeah, freedom is back in style. And actually, no, we're not in societal decline. We are on this uptick. And it's about time that somebody finally expose the ANC for what it's been doing all this time. And if nothing else comes out of it, at least the gloves are off and people know that the ANC is just bullshit. So that's done. Yep. All right. Okay, back to the chat. Trump already knows he has huge support and gratitude from us. This will just create more fake news. I fear that it will. The media will be there. They'll look for, or I wouldn't be surprised media try to instigate a confrontation between EFF or MK and, EFF will be there for sure. Unless they're afraid, like they were at Senegal. They got moored and they ran away like little bitches. And they got moored at that school. There were half a dozen Boers in front of that school, and there were like 450, 500 EFF. And all the Boers did is puff their chest up, and little bitches in the EFF ran away. It was so funny. Dangerous for the Boer, though. That was pretty silly of them to do that. The DA is done. Yes, ANC is done. I think so. I'm an alien. You're an alien here, yes. Constantia, you pronounce Constantia. Sia. Okay, no, it's Constantia, phonetically. Tariffs are misunderstood. They are Arctic people are misunderstanding it terribly. 229 people here in the first hour. That's pretty good. And Band of Brothers 101st. I believe you're correct, Cracker Barrel Kid. I haven't ever watched it, but I believe that's who it was. We're approaching 39,400. It'd be so cool if I woke up and we had 40,000. I'd be so excited about that. Did you see the video of the EFF stealing food from the white squatter camps? I did not see that. When did that take place? Christian Peters say. No, the EFF is just a bunch of nasty race hustlers, and they're getting called out too. So let's go ahead and get started with news here, folks. It's now 7 hours. So it's 7:12, 7:13 in the morning, 7:14 in South Africa. Let's get to the news. Can I send you an email, please? Yeah, David, but you got to send it to the email address. By the way, there are people who think they're being clever and they're going to different places and finding an email address for me. I stumbled across a half a dozen emails, or 20 of them people sent. I don't give that email address out. And they used it, and your emails wound up in my spam folder. I just happened to catch some of them because I was looking for a message when I was doing dual-factor authentication to log into an account, and I'm like, who's this from? It's an Afrikaner name. People thought they were being clever, and they sent to the email address. I asked people to send emails to the email address that's on this account. I'm not very timely on it, and I'm a one-man operation. I'll do my best. Or you can send me a WhatsApp. Also, I'm getting all kinds of unsolicited WhatsApps now. If you are... well, I'm not going to say that, but I'm getting unsolicited ones. I do appreciate people trying to reach out to me, but I appreciate people having patience. There are a lot of people trying to contact me, and I think I've been incredibly patient, but I can't get to everything. Good morning, Mayerton. Yeah, that's another one, Mayerton. Who says Mayerton? It's Mayerton, but you guys say Mayerton, so I reckon you will hit 100,000 by the end of the month. I don't think I'll hit 100,000 at the end of the month, Luke, but I would love to hit 100,000, especially after the oppression this channel suffered, all the crap we've gone through over the few years. And we've already seen some of the historical trolls showed up on this channel when we had Sama on here, Sama Sambit. They were trying to start some trouble. And they've been using different usernames, but their behavior tips off who they are. And we know who they are. A couple have been banned. But that doesn't stop them from their shenanigans. They're just so desperate to stop voices of reason and people that tell the truth because they're afraid of the truth. Because as Jack Nicholson said in A Few Good Men, you can't handle the truth. They can't handle the truth because the truth makes them look very bad. You can argue all day long that you have to have expropriation without compensation. But why? The government has been buying land for 31 years. They purchased 4 million hectares. What has happened to land? That's the first question. So if a rational person sat down and said, they looked at Section 25 of the Constitution and said that expropriation is possible. Now, see, I'm going to show this here. The guy says, well, other countries have eminent domain. Well, we don't steal the land. We pay people for it. You already have that. You already have expropriation with compensation. Why do you need without compensation? So you have it. So why do you need the mechanism? Okay, the argument could be that, well, we can't buy land. But that's not true. You bought 4 million hectares. So that begs the next question. If you have expropriation with compensation, you've been successfully purchasing land, and you have 4 million hectares that you bought, the next question is, what did you do with those 4 million hectares? And then we look at it. The truth of the matter is, the situation that happened at Ackerland Brewery is exactly what will happen. It will be used as a tool to defraud the owners of land, and the people who are the claimants for the land, who claim that their great-great-grandfathers, they used to meet there and we're not allowed to go in the place. They don't own the land. It was sold to a coal mining company, and then it was sold to a Saudi prince who doesn't even show up there. So the black people didn't get any land. The white people who legally bought the land were cheated out of it. Yes, they sold it, but they didn't have to sell it. And it's in disuse. No one's working there at a game ranch, and some Saudi prince owns it, and he comes to South Africa once a year maybe. How is that land reform? How is that land redistribution? That's bullshit. And that's what is happening. That's what is going on. It will be used as a weapon. And anyone that tells you any different is a lying sack of shit. I don't care what their last name is. They're a lying sack of shit. Yeah, Fred, I think people should start watching the videos. I think that would be part of it too. So that's what I found frustrating in my videos last night is I went to the videos that I did last night about the 14 most frequently asked questions. And at least 10% of the comments, it was clear that they didn't even watch the frickin' video. That's very rude and disrespectful. Don't waste my time by not watching the video and then asking me a question, which is the very first frickin' question in the video. Can I bring my pets? I answered that, asked and answered. Will they pay for me to go there? Asked and answered. When can I go? Asked and answered. It's just crazy. It's very rude and disrespectful. Take the time to watch the video. I mean, it's not a message board. If you want a message board, then go on America Online or something like that. This is a video platform, a vlog. And while we do interact with text, if you have the courtesy to watch the video, there were a couple people who asked me questions which were legitimate that I didn't get around to in the video because, I mean, I can't answer 1,000 questions. Then it's a 2-hour video. Nobody's going to watch it. So, yep. All right, back to the chat, and then I'm going to get on to the news. Sorry, Chris, I can go back to watch the beginning of the video, but you don't want to miss the live part. You can refresh. What's your question, Curiosity Nuggets? You can ask a question anytime. I'll try to answer it if I can. And I'll also tell you if I've answered it previously. It was good to have more holistic and informed POV. I think we sometimes get stuck in bad news. No, Rudy, South Africans, and this is not an insult, and I think some of you will be honest and admit this, South Africans want to believe whatever bullshit someone tells them. That's not an insult, but it's true. A lot of South Africans, white or black, doesn't matter. Whatever somebody tells them, they'll believe it. I mean, somebody circulating a text message, which wound up in one of my groups today, and it said that Cyril Ramaphosa is striking back. The South Africa's canceled all minerals to the U.S. No more minerals to the U.S., yada, yada. They're doing this, doing this. That's all bullshit. None of that's happened. Stephen Herselman, thank you for subscribing. None of that's happened. That's just made up bullshit. And it's circulating like wildfire, and people believe it. So when the list went around, when this expropriation thing started, there's a list of 187 farms are being expropriated. I'm like, wait a second. I heard this story before. This is from like 4 years ago. This can't be. So I checked with AfriForum because people said it came from AfriForum. And they're like, no, that's the story from a few years ago. It was debunked. I'm like, I thought so. Yep. And just like people are like, the embassy has a new statement. The embassy has a new statement. Well, I went and looked. There's nothing new. It's the same thing. It's just that they put a graphic up instead of just a text. So people have a habit of chasing their tail, and they get all frothed up at the mouth, like they got rabies, and they get crazy. And I've had a few people come in here and tell me, hey, what are you doing? Self-promoting, telling people you know everything, telling people you told them already. Well, it's because I have, like, a bazillion times. Anyway, frankly, I mean, I think I have the patience of Job here. But anyway, so ask your question. I'll try to do it as best I can, answer it. Jillian Janssen, welcome to Christopher Yonen. Okay, and Ian Saunders, thank you for taking the initiative offering to set up an NGO. Okay, well, let me be clear, Ian, because that's already been misinterpreted, okay? What I said is I would be willing to set up a group, and I guess I'd go registered as an NGO so we could raise money and not pay taxes and have money to do things. The purpose of that group would be to help inform people who are here. It's not to help people move here. That's not my role. I'm not getting involved in the U.S. government's business. No, they don't pay me. I'm not doing their job for them. But once you're here, getting acclimated to America, I've lived almost everywhere in America. There are South Africans everywhere. We have them here in Pennsylvania. They're everywhere in the country. They could join the group, and if they came over as a refugee, or if they came as an immigrant, or if they came as a migrant with a farm worker visa or an H1B or something like that, they can join the group. We can help. We can set up events. In Philadelphia, or set an event up in DC, or set an event up in Austin, Texas, and put it together, and then people can get together. We can have brides. We can have Springbok events. We can do all kinds of things. We can have like a West Transvaal meeting, something like that. That's what I'm talking about. So, Ian, I don't want people to falsely assume that I'm talking about offering to get people here. I'm not a subject matter expert on raising money. I can register an NGO and set up rules of, corporation and make myself the chairman and then invite people onto the board, making sure I have enough of the votes so I never get voted out, and then get that going. But I'm not offering to bring anyone over here. Again, I'm not happy that people feel the need to come over here, but I'm agnostic about encouraging or discouraging because I understand people's situation. Teo de Prier, welcome to you. See, that's another one. How do you get Prier out of that? It's Prez, but it's Prier. Yeah, so. All right, so cool. All right, I'm glad I caught that message up there. Jarethra is back. Haman, welcome to you. Okay, you guys can reach out, especially now. This conversation, it's not the regular news broadcast. It's like it says, it's the lying dog-faced pony soldier edition. I have another edition I'm going to come up with. This one I'm going to use to expose people. So, that's not it. Hang on a second. Why is it not there? Let me see if I put it here. Oh, I never saved it. Well, I'll be darned. No, I did save it. Here it is. Okay, hang on. Sorry, guys. Okay, so this is my new edition that I'm going to be going with. A new name for a program or segment. I've got lots of them. I got Kanako. I got Fireside with the Colonels. I've got, used to have Answer the Question with Rob Hutchison. We don't do that anymore. And a bunch of these things. But this one is the Box of Rocks edition. The Box of Rocks edition, Sunrise with the Colonel. That's what I was going to put up for the banner tonight. Because some people are just dumb as a box of rocks. Okay? Katie Lombard, how's it going there? Gideon Maloney? Or you guys say Gideon because of the way you pronounce G, but it's Gideon in English. Okay? Every farm, what's this? Totally agree. We have had our blinders on for a while. We've been too trusting the media. It clearly has agendas. It's our own fault. Yep. Bro, what is a dog-faced lying pony soldier? It's some asinine thing that Joe Biden said during the campaign. Some guy was berating him because Joe Biden's a dumbass in the 2020 election campaign. He says, "You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier." It's supposedly a quote from an old Western movie. A pony soldier is a calf soldier. Dogface is a tired, gaunt-looking soldier. So you're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. It's hilarious. Anyway. Like you demonstrated, anyone can read exactly what you have stated on their website. Why do News 24 and Iowa choose to distort the truth? Because they are agents of the ANC. Whether they're paid or not to do it, they're operating on their behalf. They're intentionally spreading misinformation, and while claiming that Donald Trump is spreading misinformation. Pocket full of ivermectin. U.S. Customs will take half that and fine you $1,000. What did Lucum say? I don't know what Lucum said. What are you talking about there, Arctic? Oh, yeah, you can't bring that stuff in. Yeah, you can't bring biltong into the country. You can't bring, you can't bring ivermectin. You'll definitely get in trouble for that. No medications unless it's, it's a prescription. Michael says, how's it, Chris? Do you reckon Steenhuisen are going to try to get Trump to stop the refugee offer? I don't know. I don't think John Steenhuisen has a business coming here, quite frankly, particularly given his personal view of Donald Trump. For those who missed it, this is what John Steenhuisen thinks of Donald Trump, and he wants to come here and lobby Trump. I think this is beyond stupid of Cyril Ramaphosa. Just not a very bright individual there. So let me get this up. So here you go. This is what John Steenhuisen had to say. Now, to be fair, this is in 2016, and I confirm this is real. Someone had sent this around, and it was marked up, so I didn't know if it was a fake. But I went to his account, confirmed. He's a gray account, he's a government official. Donald Trump is a deeply disturbing individual. Clinton is by no means perfect, but on her worst day is better suited to be the U.S. president. Yeah, that's what John Steenhuisen thinks of Donald Trump. Now, he might make the argument, well, Chris, that was in 2016. My view is different than today. Fine. But you've never articulated that you like the guy, and you've lied about him in Parliament this week. So I don't know what to tell you. Jeremy Jacobs says, thank you for your channel, very informative. You're very welcome. We cover everything here. You know why I want to come to America? Trump said this country is a country that makes the impossible possible. Yes, it is. It always has been until the leftists destroyed it. We had Clinton, leftism soft, who shifted back towards the center and slightly right before he left office. Bush, who pretended to be conservative and did lots of leftist things. Obama, who was a radical communist piece of filth. Trump, who was under attack from the moment he came in office and really wasn't able to accomplish the things he hoped to, and then cheated out of a presidency, which in the end looks like it was probably the best thing that could have happened. And then demonic Joe Biden and his nappies falling downstairs, destroying this country, pretending that boys are girls and pretending all kinds of other things are true, and that money just grows on trees, and that we owe something to other people when we don't. And so, yeah, America is back. We are back, baby. It's the revolution. Truth is the counter-revolution. That's one of my markers. I've had that here for a long time. It's a phrase I coined. Chronic. Okay, got that. Okay. Did you hear? Come on back here. Come back here. Come on. Did you hear about the morgue in Heidelberg? The Department of Health is releasing. Just got expropriated without compensation. No, I heard somebody say something about it, but I hadn't seen it in the media. So, Willy de Witt, welcome to you. Willem Janssen van Rensburg. Love those as a kid. Fond memories. Butchered my own surname my whole life. Well, it's because it's Italian. I'm Vianello. But get off our surnames. Okay. Good morning, Reg Dodd. Need YouTube shorts for some people because they can't concentrate long format. That's a good joke, but they don't watch them. I do YouTube shorts and nobody watches it. Yeah, not benefiting from USAID money. That's a funny one, Theodorus. Yeah, no, I don't have any USAID money. Touch Some Grass morning show has a great ring to it. That sounds a little creepy, Matthew. That's the truth, Colonel. I'm hearing white folks say that China is going to fill in. I didn't hear you say that before. Did you say that? No, you're high. Nothing comes from China without a cost. And if China was going to take care of HIV, they would have done it years ago. China's retrenched from Africa. They don't have the money. China's in trouble economically. Everything China does will be transactional and come at a cost. Ian Saunders says, thank you for clarification. My apologies for misunderstanding. Ian, you have no reason to apologize. Thank you for apologizing. Absolutely no reason. You're not the only one. People often hear what they want to hear. Maybe I communicated it poorly, but I'm pretty sure I got it right. Yeah, but no worries. That's why I answer these questions multiple times. We don't want people to get the wrong information. And I think there's merit to doing that, folks. I mean, once you're here, you're going to want to link up with other South Africans, right? I know we expect you to become Americans, but you don't have to ban your culture. You don't have to abandon your ties to South Africans. I mean, the Somalis, they plot their terrorism. I mean, their family reunions. Oh, that was a dig at Somalis. That wasn't fair, but that's because of Ilhan Omar. But no, the Amish maintain their culture. The old Spanish maintain their culture. The Cuban families that came over from Cuba to Florida have got their culture, but they are very much Americans. And you can be the same. And I think that there's merit or use of utility to having something like that here in South Africa, Saffers in America, something like that. So there's a bunch of Telegram, WhatsApp groups for people here, but I'm talking about something more ambitious, you know, and not just South Africans, but Americans who know America and know South Africa. There aren't a lot of us. There are a few. There's a lot who think they do, but they don't. News 24 is propaganda outfit, hence the reason I call it Propaganda 24. Dumb as a box of rocks or dumb as a doorknob. Yep. Dingbat doorknob. That's another one of my phrases. Biden's corn pop. Yeah. I used to play the hairs of my leg. Corn pop was bad, dude. What if Biden said Buffalo Soldier instead? He did say Buffalo Soldier another time, too. S.A. Pete, I see politicians refer to South Africa the same way the Dems refer to the USA a democracy. Neither country is democracy. They're both constitutional republics. Don't follow the socialist crap. Well, yeah, but, calling South Africa a constitutional republic is on the thread of things. It's more like a parliamentary republic. But I get you. Colonel, beautiful neighborhoods are now dumps. Look, Annabelle, I know. I come to South Africa. I've lived in the region. I've seen it. I've seen the decline. That's why I call Durban Dirt Bin. Yep. No biltong. Luke's staying in South Africa. Well, they have biltong here, not beef jerky biltong. Okay? The DA is going to lie to Trump. Of course they are, Ravani. Of course they are. Peter Hernevald won't lie to them. Gabe McKenzie is confused. He doesn't know the truth, so he'll tell them what he thinks is true and probably mislead them unintentionally. Yeah, that's right. The only thing Trump needs to see is that post from John Steenhuisen for 2016. That just needs to get to him before it. So Elon Musk, James Woods, whoever's got the ear of the president, please share that screen that I posted. If USA doesn't take us, do you think there's anywhere in Africa that we move and could flourish? Miss B, on my recommendation, 2 people from PE, Driana Lezan, moved to Botswana 5 years ago, and they are flourishing quite well. They've had a child there. They have a home, live in a nice neighborhood. He started a business there. She's working very well. She's a nurse. Yeah, they're enjoying Botswana, and it's right across the border. Namibia is nice too, but it's sparse, it's desolate, it's far away from South Africa. But Botswana is just a couple hours away from Rustenburg. Steenhuisen is your box of rocks, okay? Zane says, Trump is the first president I've seen that said he did something, and without a doubt, he started doing it. Yeah, everything he promised. It's the same in the first term, but there was so much confusion because the media lying all the time, and he didn't do nearly as many things that people forgot that he did everything he said except build the wall. He didn't finish the wall. Garrett says, what pisses me off most of the politicians cause cock and then try to iron it back at a huge taxpayer expense. Yep. I think the only major information is that only white Afrikaans people are experiencing trouble because of the race-based laws, but it's the minority. Chronic, I don't know where that comes from. It never came from me. I've never said that. But the politicians are lying and saying that it's whites. And it's another op-ed in Times Live today, which I'm going to expose here shortly. So hang tight. Don't run off. We got 300 people here. And I'm feeling chipper at 12:30 in the morning. So it's been a long day for me, just to let you know. So I worked until 6 a.m. all night. 11 o'clock I did this broadcast, 6 a.m. And then I took a 2-hour nap and got up and started prepping and did my show, made a video, did my show at 11 o'clock. And then I did Wednesdays with the Colonel Fernaldo. Then I made another video after that. And then I did my radio show at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. I finished my radio show. I watched the last 17 minutes of the O.J. Simpson Netflix special, which I hadn't had time to finish. Then I came back, sat down, prepped for this, and started at 11 p.m. It's now 12:30 in the morning. I'll finish this. I'll look for another topic that I think is appropriate to do a video on, and I may or may not do a video tonight just to keep the momentum going on the channel. I'll go to bed and I'll get up. But tomorrow I don't have a radio show in the evening, but I do have the Veterans Organization meetings, which go from 4 until 10 o'clock tomorrow night. So from 1600 to 2200, I'll be tied up at the Veterans Post tomorrow. So no rest for the wicked. Friday, I might go skiing. We just got 2 inches of snow here. Ooh, yes. So I might go skiing on Friday afternoon. And then, because I don't have rugby, and then Saturday, got 2 rugby games. So that's just kind of the pace. Johnny kicked himself in the nuts. Yeah, I think so. Okay, DA is part of the New World Order. Hermann von der Westhuizen, I find it fascinating that there is a leftist cabal across the world hell-bent on destroying Western nations. Why is Europe following copying South? Because they're idiots. I don't get what they get out of this other than destruction. Trump needs to speak to people in South Africa to hear what's really going on. No, I think Trump needs to speak to me. Y'all need to flood the White House, flood Elon Musk's Twitter account, mention my name, put links to my videos, tell them to come check me out. And not my live streams, but my prepared videos that are on the topics. Give them links on that. Just unsubscribe from Citizen Concern. Oh, Gerardus, I wonder why it would happen. Yeah, I saw a video and I saw something that she said that really irritated me, but I didn't unsubscribe from her. Drunken Yoda's back. I don't know shit about South Africa, but I lived in PA with the Amish and around UC. I've learned a lot about South through this channel, though. Remember when I asked what buy a donkey meant? Yeah, buy a donkey. Yeah, I know. Drunken Yoda, it's good to see you back tonight. Amanda Antoinette says, anyone watch Citizen Concern this morning? Seemed like we're lying. Lying and unpatriotic. Is that what she said? The amount of knowledge Chris has tucked away in the brain is super amazing. Keep up the great vlogs. Thank you, Beth. Another person in America, Chronic, you never said I'm saying that's the biggest misinformation going around, bro. Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. And I've been dispelling it. It's all bullshit. And they all lie. Neil DeBeer is also going to the U.S. He's absolutely relentless. Okay, well, then the cat's out of the bag. I don't know where you got that from. That's 2 nights in a row. I'm aware of Neil coming to the States, and I've known about it for some time. And for some reason, Neil hasn't responded back to me, but he has read my text, so I need to find out what's going on. So I'll have to find out when Johnny Boy is coming down to D.C. and see if I can't find some way to weasel my way into down there. What's the beef with the Petzer guys? Who are the Petzer guys? Willem Petzer? I don't know any other Petzers. Okay. You're a machine, says Reg. Well, I try to be. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for the good reporting, says Keoma Fenta. Okay. Come back here. Toki Jansa van Vuren says, please check with Tokum's Fork. They help people that needs help. Not part of them, however, I do donate and try to help. Are they people in South Africa? Okay. Interesting YouTube vid from Willem Petzer. BRICS countries won't risk their own trade relationship with the U.S. to stand up for South Africa. Yeah, no, exactly. China is not going to piss the U.S. off over South Africa. Does South Africa really think that? Tehran will, but Tehran doesn't have anything to offer except oil. What does Tehran got to offer? Terrorism and oil. That's all they have. Oh, and defunct F-4 Phantoms that can't fly. They can give you that. Max DePrier claiming AfriForm and Solidarity have reverse reconciliation efforts. That's because Max DePrier is an ass, and he's a lying sack of shit. Okay, so it's the minorities, great, but I'm an Afrikaner. We're uniquely targeted media. Don't act as if we're all part of some Ubuntu persecution here. Joe Neiman. Hey, Joe. How you doing? You changed your avatar. When is Rob on again with you, Chris? I don't know. I wrote to Rob a few months ago. I'd written to him several times when he got pissed off and left the channel. I didn't do anything to Rob, but I do know that he took offense, but it's his actions, not mine. And I wrote to him, and he just dissed me very rudely and never wrote back, and I never said anything about it. I let it go. And then I wrote to him again a few months later, nothing. And then after a year plus, I wrote to him a few months back, and I asked how he's doing. He said he's doing fine. I said, we should get back in touch. He said, yeah, but I haven't heard from Rob. I hope he's well. Hope he's well. Rob and I, it was a fun conversation. Answer the question was a great segment. I miss it. Good morning, Colonel. The media in South Africa is spreading so much misinformation in connection with President Trump's offer, saying whites reject the officer. No, because they're lying sacks of shit. Okay, so the same people that are saying whites reject the offer are the same ones that say that AfriForm doesn't speak for all white people. How can you say AfriForm speaks for all white people, and then you say all whites reject it? It's nonsense. Mary Duplessis back. Would love to see you with Trump or Elon on your channel. Oh, good God, wouldn't I too? I'd have millions of subscribers, and they would stick. I would make so much money off advertising that I would quit the consulting gig, and I would just do this full time, and I would be flying to South Africa, and I'd be there a lot, and I'd be in D.C., and I'd fly to Europe, I'd do it all the time, and I'd be able to pay for that with the revenue that came from it. So, yeah. Where are the most SAFAs located in the U.S.? There are a bunch in Texas, but they're everywhere. They're on Wall Street, they're in Florida, they're in California, they're all over the place. Wherever wherever Arctic is at, that's where they're at. It's a common tactic to say people have it worse than you, abusers maximize. Yeah, it is, exactly. Danielle Burgess says, thank you for what you're doing. You're very welcome. Luke is still there. He wrote something else. Max DePrier is still kicking. That old tit should be sucking and wet and happy by now. Citizen concern will disappoint you, I guarantee, says Edward. Tim Martin's, last I heard, it was Atlanta and California, but haven't looked at a while. SAFAs are everywhere. Exactly. Looking at Montana from the Lowfeld. Yeah, Montana's nice. A little bit left of center, but it's nice. I think Chris has a photographic memory. It's photographic. It's not eidetic, that's for sure. I don't remember everything. With the UN being so corrupt, it's concerning me having need them to refer me to the refugee program for me to review. Okay, stop. What are you talking about? Why do you need the UN for refugee program? Who told you that shit? Where did you get that from? Where did you get that from? You don't know that that's true. Who made that shit up? This isn't a UN refugee program. It's not the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR. This is a program. It's the United States Refugee Settlement Program. It's Mad Republic law. It exists. We spend billions of dollars bringing people here so they can escape persecution all over the world. Almost all of them are people of color, by the way. Every year. Between 30 to 50 to 100 to 150,000 or more. Every single year. Most generous people in the world. And we pay for all that shit. Who told you that you have to go through the UN? They're a lying sack of fucking shit. That's right, I said it. I don't know who told you that. Mark Dahl says, good morning, thanks for your great work. Have a great day. Thank you for being here. This will be a good topic to chat about different states. Yeah, Fred, but that's a silly topic, you know. You can look for videos to find out about all the states. Been a while, Joe. I've been wondering where you've been. Oh, I didn't realize you were back in South Africa. I'm glad you're happy. -10 is fine, but -10 and -20 is not fine. Well, it's supposed to get another inch of snow on Saturday, so I'm going to want to go skiing on Friday before the powder comes. Just because it's actually freezing right now, 0 degrees. Cous Lagrange, thank you for subscribing. Annabelle, if we held on to our grudges, no one would talk to each other. Where's the referendum for 4.7 million whites? What are you talking about? Nobody can speak. Exactly. Okay, gotcha. They want attention. None of the BRICS have put out a statement of support. They will not side. And neither will the European Union. They're not going to do anything. That's just bullshit statement. The only white guy I know who rejects the offer is an over-the-hill boomer that reckons that China will save us. Janet says, good morning, everyone. This is far too early for me. I hope I haven't missed anything. Still battling to get a passport. Queue's very long. Welcome back, Janet. Jaya, thanks a lot for keeping me entertained and informed as I travel 4 hours to the north of England for a meeting. I'm sure it could have been an email. Yeah, well, be careful on the M1. Where are you headed to? 4 hours from London. That sounds like Sheffield, Leicester, or Manchester. Where are you headed? Someone should send Trump the Katie Hopkins documentary. What time are you going to end the stream? I don't know, Arctic. I haven't decided. Citizen Concern, for the most part, actually spreads truth. Yeah, she does, but I saw something that she was flat out wrong. Well, Montana's on the border with Canada, so that's not away from it. Tanya, okay. I got to go play poker, okay? And that, sir, is why America's best country in the world. You can always get Elon's dad on your show. Well, yeah, if you got a contact for him, please. Yeah, if you guys can get me Elon's dad, I get him the program, he'll mention me to his son, and then maybe we'll make the connection with Elon. So yeah, if you got a contact with Elon's dad, share it with me. And if you know him, tell him he should come on my program. Yeah, I saw some bullshit lying lawyers on SABC who are telling people that you have to wait 5 and 6 months for asylum. We're not talking about asylum. So why are you talking about it? This isn't about asylum. I've already covered the 4 categories. Migrant, immigrant, asylum seeker, and refugee. 4 very different legal things. People attack and disrespect citizen concern, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not attacking her. I just said I disagree wholeheartedly because she got something completely wrong. Hey, Chris, hope you're doing well. Long day. Hey, Marissa Petzer, welcome to you. After a long day, I do believe you're knackered. What is your opinion about Malema claiming that the whole reason Trump is doing this because South Africa's involved in Israel? Because Malema's a dumbass. I mean, he's about as bright as a jackal eating its dinner. He's not very, well, actually, jackals are pretty smart. I shouldn't call him a jackal. He's about as bright as a 2-watt light bulb. Yeah, no, Joseph Malema thinks he's a bright guy, but he's not. I mean, he's calling Elon Musk a dumbass. You know, it's that tells you all you need to know about Julius Malema. It's on the USCIS. What is the USCIS website? That's the 3rd time somebody said that. They said we have to go through the UNHCR. Be referred to them. We'll get an interview with US. Who is UC? Okay, hang on. Thank you for that, Napoleon. USCIS. Citizenship Immigration Service. No. Is there something on the USCIS website that tells you about the South African resettlement program? No, because it does not exist. These are standard boilerplate things. They're designed for people fleeing from Darfur in war, people fleeing from Cabo Delgado in war and crossing into Tanzania, people fleeing from Somalia and going to Kenya in war. That's what this is, boilerplate setup. No, there's not even a UN office for you to go to. How are you going to contact the UN in Joburg? No, we don't know the rules. That's bullshit. And this is the problem with people not understanding the system. Now, if the U.S. government does that, they're going to shoot themselves in the foot. They're going to shoot themselves in the foot. So until the government establishes the procedures, the methods for this particular program, people need to chill. All right? But thank you for that. Thank you for that. That tells me you did your research. I appreciate Napoleon Dynamite. But no, that's okay. So yeah, immigration services. Yeah, no, that we don't know that. It's an unknown, as Donald Rumsfeld says. Your known knowns and your unknowns. That's an unknown. We don't know. But thank you for looking it up, and thank you for sharing me where you got it from. That's very helpful. Afrikaners Americans share a pioneering spirit. True. Exactly. There, Arctic, you just said. It's for current refugees, for places like I just said, not for South Africans. We don't know what the South African program is going to come up with. It's asinine to ask people from South Africa to go to the UN. There's no UN mission there. We're not dealing with internally displaced persons. There are no internally displaced persons in South Africa. So, leftists use migration as a weapon. Yep. Spell check. Okay, they only just arrived. Sounds like people are still in the fake news about refugee program. Yep. Hutful Bikers, holy crap, how can people believe in China? Trade deficit between South and China is $6 billion. Trade deficit between the South and the U.S. is $2 billion. To your favorite. We make $2 billion trade rate in revenue, and in China costs us $6 billion. People hear potato, then tell people it's tomatoes. It's only seek refuge in the U.S. if I'm pushed. Okay. It's a long story, personal stuff, so chose to come home south to be with family and friends where I belong. Sounds like a breakup. I'm not going to intrude there, Joe. If that's what it was, I'm sorry to hear that. Leslie Ann Moon, Carrie McDougall. Holden says, the new DNI director would be a good interview for you. Yeah, sure. You got a contact for her? Arctic froze his ass off in Bozeman, Montana. Amazing how Southern podcasters like Morning Shot has 100,000 viewers and Talking Asylum. Totally wrong info. Yeah, it's true. If Byron is talking about asylum, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I haven't seen it, but you guys are telling me that, and I haven't talked. Errol Musk has spoken to various news outlets in the past. Try reaching him out to the journalists or media platforms that have interviewed him before. All right, okay. UN stands with Parliament to grab your land. Actually, I know someone that might have a contact for him. I think Trump is giving ANC time to fix things. Yeah, exactly. I think that's part of it. But I think he's going to amp the pressure up soon. Is anyone else having interesting discussions about leaving? Matthew says, hey, South Africa is really that bad that we deserve to receive refugee status or perspective of life just out of international norms. No, Matthew. While I'm not encouraging people to leave South Africa, and I'm heartbroken that people feel the need to leave South Africa, there are definitely people who have been who have more than met the standard, and the same as Zimbabwe, for our refugee program. They've been discriminated against because they belong to a particular group. They've been targeted criminally. They've been targeted politically. They've been targeted economically. They've been denied basic human rights and dignity. Absolutely. We see people going and smashing the gravestones of Cous de la Rey. That is a human rights violation right there. I mean, that's the contempt that some people have for Afrikaners and Boers. So, no, absolutely. And anyone that denies it, like the guy from Agra SA, are full of shit. And I'll tell him that. I'm going to try to get him on the program. I won't tell him that on the program. That's rude. But good morning, Blair. Daily Dose Truth is always best. Congo Chris, Carlo Cronier. It's the reason for Colorado becoming so far left. Because all the California wheats and nut lunatics moved out there. That's why they moved out there. And it also has kind of had a leftist flair with the skiing and the outdoorsy environment. Leftists, for all their faults, tend to be people who like to be outside, which is ironic because they're not usually that fit. I think Elon is estranged from his father. I don't think his father will have... Okay, well, there you go. I don't know the story there. Well, his mother's not estranged from him, so get me his mother. All right, let me get into what I wanted to start with an hour and 45 minutes ago. All right, so I'm going to go to the U.S. Embassy website in Pretoria, and we are going to take an update and see that there's nothing new there, unfortunately. So here it is. That's a current site. Right there, United States Embassy and consulates in South Africa. And all they have is the fact sheet, nothing new. That's the original statement by the president, his executive order. And here's the fact sheet, which tells you nothing new. So that is of no help. We are now a week into this and no guidance from the State Department yet. It's starting to piss me off. Here's an editorial by the Times Live, and this one's nonsense. So, beware the Trump trap. South Africa must reject prejudice. Really? South Africa is nothing but a prejudiced, bigoted, racist state. It's political, a situation anyway. South Africa is a racially sensitive country. Donald Trump, in his usual predatory style, has identified this soft spot and exploiting it for all it's worth. It's classic Trump politics, a divide and conquer strategy to pressure South Africa into playing ball on key international issues. No, Trump didn't threaten to end the aid. He ended the aid. We don't have the money. It's over. There's nothing to negotiate. There's no threats here. And just like that, we tumbled headfirst into his trap. Racial tensions have escalated since Trump last week announced he would be offering Afrikaners refugee status in the U.S. because their land was being expropriated by government. No, see, already a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. Here's the executive order. You lying sacks of shit at Times Live. In shocking disregard for its citizens' rights, the Republic of South Africa recently enacted Expropriation Act 13, which is true, to enable the government of South Africa to seize ethnic minority Afrikaners' agricultural property without compensation. What it does do is allow the government to seize anyone's property without compensation, not just land and agricultural property. This act follows countless government policies, nothing here about farms being expropriated, designed to dismantle equal opportunity in employment, education, and business, and the hateful rhetoric and government actions fueling disproportionate violence against racially disfavored landowners. So that's not talking about land being expropriated. It's mentioned here, but that's not the picture that's being painted here. Here's a picture of people being denied employment, education, and business opportunities and being the targets of hateful rhetoric and government actions like 142 discriminatory laws. Simple as that. The United States took no punitive action towards South Africa. We simply stopped giving you money that wasn't yours. We didn't end your trade preferential status. We didn't put sanctions on you, so stop your whining. And who we allow to settle in our country is our business, not yours. You have no say whether we let the Rohingya from Myanmar come to America, no say whether we let the Uyghurs from China come here. You have no say whether we let Somalis come here. We do all those people. None of your damn business, ANC. Okay. Of course, the fact that Trump's wild statements on land ownership in South Africa contain not even an iota of truth has done nothing to dampen the emotions. Actually, Trump's statements are they're confiscating land. That's an inartful way to describe what's going on. What Donald Trump should have said, as I said in his tweet and when he was on the tarmac, is he should have said, the government has passed an expropriation without compensation bill to give nil compensation to people. This is an abrogation of sacrosanct private property rights in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which South Africa is a signatory to. It's a violation of the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act, and therefore we can no longer support South Africa because they violated our public law. We can't give money to rogues and renegades. You have to adhere to it. And that's what he should have said. And what he should have said is instead of Afrikaners, he just said ethnic minorities. And that's what he should have said. And that's what I would have said. Despite our dream of a harmonious rainbow nation, race and language remain hot potatoes to politicians and social media clowns and the media, and issues that have not been fully aired. It takes just the slightest provocation to reignite the tensions to simmer below the surface. Well, if it takes just the slightest provocation to ignite the tensions that simmer just below the surface, editors at Times Live, maybe there's something systemically wrong with your country, if that's all it takes. I mean, you can make the same argument about Los Angeles in 1992 and the Rodney King riots, after the officers that beat Rodney King in Simi Valley were declared not guilty, and Los Angeles erupted in a ball of flame. The irony about that is all we hear about is race relations and racial tensions, black and white racism in Los Angeles, all we ever hear. But blacks only make up 9% of Los Angeles' population. 9%. They're nothing. They're 1 in 10 people. And that's what happens. So that's a real situation where racial tensions are inflamed very easily because of the reputation of Los Angeles Police Department in mistreating black Angelinos for decades. So if, in fact, it's just below the surface and all it took was Trump to massage it, then maybe you have a bigger problem there. Times Live. Take, for instance, Limpopo farmer Teo de Jager, who told the Sunday Times last week, even if the Americans offer me free transport and a hectare for hectare swap with land in Texas, I will not go. This is my land, the land of my fathers, and I will stay here. Some would argue that this viewpoint is minority among his brethren, but even so, it's a reminder that we should not pigeonhole people based on their race or language. Well, of course you shouldn't. Most Afrikaners that I've talked to outside my broadcast aren't going anywhere. Those watching my broadcast talking about leave. Anyway. Afrikaans speakers have for years been very vocal about their perceived persecution, farm attacks, mother tongue education, the conversion of their heritage and industry. They speak loudly and can be a cause of irritation for those who experience firsthand the huge disadvantage that black people still endure to this day and stark inequality that prevails more than 30 years into democracy. So you see this bullshit? So the editors at Times Live are discounting the suffering of Afrikaners in South Africa and of minorities in South Africa because black people suffer. Well, that's bullshit. Black people can suffer and white people can suffer just as equally. And the white people aren't responsible for the black people suffering. The African National Congress and its failed macroeconomic policies and its racist legislation and its grift and its kleptocracy are the reason why black people are poor in South Africa. Explain to me how you now have over 30 million desperately poor, below the poverty line, black South Africans when you had less than 10 million under the National Party in 1994. That tells me that the government has not built a prosperous country and the population is growing far faster than the economy is. And whose fault is that? The National Party? White South Africans? No. They're not the one popping out 5 and 6 babies, not having any resources. They're not the ones that don't value education, not the ones producing fatherless families. That's not white folks, although some do. But yeah, blaming them. This is bullshit, and I call out bullshit. This is shameful. This is racist is what it is. This is racist. Just because Afrikaners shout loudly does not mean their concerns are not valid. And just because other groupings may not speak out enough does not mean that the challenge and hardships are any less important. Okay, well, that's what I just said, so I'll give them a break. But the previous sentence was meant to turn you off to Afrikaners and ignore them. Until South Africans learn to speak as one and to understand and embrace different perspectives. Now, see, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Almost every white South African I know in South Africa is perfectly fine interacting with other people and embraces other cultures. This is bullshit. It's like the same nonsense we hear from Julius Blame and his other twits. Well, until the whites learn an African language. Well, first off, all the Afrikaners speak in African language. It's called Afrikaans. It was developed in South Africa. It's the world's newest language. So that's the first thing. Second, most people I know speak Zulu or Xhosa or Tswana or Venda. They speak another language. So this is just nonsense. Now, not many white people speak 6 or 7 languages like some Zulu and some Basotho do, but hey, that's a different story. So that's a bullshit op-ed in the Times Live. Now, here comes Agri SA with a bunch of bullshit too, which I'm going to blow out of the water. You ready for this? Okay. Trump's SA stance fueling racialization and hatred. No, it's not. No, it's not. The people who are committing the racialization are the ones fueling it, not Trump. Trump didn't do anything to fuel that. Why would it matter to people? If you don't care about race, why would you give a flying flip about whether some people want to leave the country? Why does that torch and anger and touch people? Why does that set you off? It would only set a racist off. It would only set a bigot off. Because only a bigot or racist would go, well, offended because they want to leave. Well, get over yourself. People are suffering. Someone whose wife has been raped or murdered, husband murdered on a farm, child executed, Baki stolen, farm destroyed, stock slaughtered, and you want them to stay? There's no security. The commandos are disbanded. All 178 regiments over a bogus lie by the ANC. And I warned 20 years ago, this is what the rural areas will look like. When the commandos are gone, not that they were the most effective, but they were there. They were a presence. And they did have an effect of deterrence. Jackson Jacobs, thank you. And Congo Chris, I just want a birthday bell. What was your birthday? Congo Chris, it's your birthday. Well, we do something special for birthdays if you tell us about that. So hang on. Happy birthday to Congo Chris. There you go, folks. Just posted about you on Elon and saw Willem Petzer is posting his YouTube to Elon and him and all your vids. Willem Petzer is posting my videos on Elon? Really? Or am I misunderstanding your question or your point? Yeah. So we all have some form of come back to fight. Colonel, look at what is happening, the business initiative and the reason why. Exactly. Well, look at what AfriForum did, offering to mow yards that weren't being mowed by the city because they weren't providing the services in Shwane. And they were called racist because they were mowing lawns. They weren't charging anybody. I think Ashka has a point. Look at black social media influencers. Their rhetoric against whites is getting worrisome. That's not Donald Trump's fault. That's an underlying social problem in South Africa. And the fact that Donald Trump exposed it doesn't make it his fault. But yeah, I warned about that. Go back and watch the receipts. Check the receipts in the first 10 minutes of my video at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, 3:30 in South Africa on Friday night, just 3 hours after he initially put his statement out. I warned that this will cause racial tensions, and I warn white South Africans to keep your head down, and colors too. And Indians, you are going to be a target by racist bigots. And you're already a target by racist bigots. I mean, just the fact that you're white makes you a target of criminal syndicates because they presume you have money, even if you don't have any. All right, Billy, thanks for taking off. Or thanks for being here, I should say. Zulu and Xhosa is the same. Tswana and Sotho. Nicholas, I'm aware of the similarities that Swan and Sutu are from the same family because when I go to Maseru and I say Utsahili Jung, they understand what I'm saying. Kitsahili Sentle. But happy birthday. The cake comes down now. Okay, cool beans. So you guys can say happy birthday to him. All right, Pumlani says, welcome. Okay. All right, thank you, Colonel, for all this extra energy you have put into communication about South Africa and the attention President Trump has finally gotten the opportunity to draw attention to the situation. That's the bottom line. Yep. Yes, sir. Keep head down. 100%. Exactly, Luke. That's what I warned. Please do it. So if you want to say that Agri-SA has a point, that's fine. I'm not going to dispute that they have a point that this is raising tensions. But the tensions are being raised not because of Trump, but because they're underlying. And that's the problem. You have a problem in society if there are people who feel so empowered to behave in this fashion. So let's take a look at what Agri-SA had to say, and I'm going to blow it out of the water. Agri-SA CEO Johan Kutza said the racialization that took place after Trump's moves against South Africa is fueling hatred. He said the way that we farm and the success we have with exports and the life we have, why would you leave that to be in a country where you don't have any citizenship? Well, that's a dumbassery question. That's a stupid question. Who are you to speak for people who want to leave? You don't know what their problems are. You don't know their life. Everyone's individual. Trump, who cut off aid to South Africa, making false claims about land expropriation law and persecution of Afrikaners, has divided the farm community. No. The people that want to go are the same people that wanted to go before Trump made the offer. He didn't divide anything. All he did was expose it. All Trump did was rip Band-Aid off the lies that are South Africa. That's all Trump did. This is on y'all. This isn't on Trump. Trump didn't sanction South Africa. Trump didn't punish South Africa. He didn't take anything away from South Africa other than our money, which isn't your money. Yep. AfriForum, a conservative Afrikaans rights group, has been accused of misinforming Trump with years of campaigning over land grabs that never took place and alleged persecution of white people. Right-wing farmer groups and separatist organizations have praised Trump's comments. Well, AfriForum has not misled Trump. Can you please give me the date that AfriForum met with President Trump? They never met with him, to my knowledge, so I don't know how they told him that. They were on Tucker Carlson. He watched Tucker Carlson. That's how he knew about it. I disagree to what they stated out here. I didn't experience that as an organized agriculture in South Africa, he said in an interview. The racialization or the radicalization that took place after Donald Trump's statement, that fuels hatred. Radicalization? That's on you. You're the ones being radical, not us. He said it's quite bizarre of the offer. Given the way we farm and the success we have with exports and the life we have, why would you leave to be in a country where you don't have any citizenship? Well, Kotze, then why did your ancestors go to South Africa? What a stupid-ass question. Why did you leave? Europe was successful. Why did you go to South Africa? Why did your ancestors plant their seeds in South Africa? And why are you the descendant of people who left Europe to go to a place where you didn't have citizenship? What's your point? That's a dumb point. That's meant to discourage people. It's dishonest. It's a massive win for South Africa. We don't need some negativity now. No, the Commercial Farmers Union, which is essentially what this is, doesn't want any dissent. It stops the gravy train of money coming to Agri-SA from commercial farmers. Yep. Kotze dismissed claims that have been fueled in the past by Musk and Post and X that African farmers being murdered for political reasons. You can dismiss it, Kotze, but you have no evidence it's not true. It's a claim by Musk. You have no evidence it's not true. Can you prove it? Can you prove it? The lie that's often told is these are revenge crimes or crimes of opportunity. That's bullshit. You don't show up at a farm, which we've got CCTV footage of, wearing body armor, police issue weapons, cell phone jammers, fence cutters, to break into a farm and raid and murder and kill a farming family. That's not random. That's not revenge. That's organized syndicate crime is what that is. Then he goes on, he says, crime in South Africa is too high. If a murder is on a farm, we call it a farm murder. Well, yeah. Would you call it a basketball murder? Would you call it a gymnasium murder? You dumbass. But remember, that same night, somebody was also murdered in a little township where the farm workers come from. And what's your point? It doesn't diminish the other one. See, this is whataboutism. Well, there's a farm murder, but, a black person got killed too. No shit. 60 black people get killed every day in South Africa. What does that have to do with someone being killed on the farm? And how does it diminish either side? They're both dead, dumbass. Unbelievable. You see the bullshit? This is leftist propaganda. Well, the farmers, they're making a big deal because they're getting killed. Well, that is a big deal. Costa said AgriSA has concerns about the Expropriation Act signed into law. But he added, no farms were taken without compensation. None. Land grabs did not take place. That's a lie. That's a lie. Sechejo in Limpopo and Polokwane, land grabs. I've got the video. I can show it to you. That's a lie. We got them proudly saying that because Ramaphosa signed the law that they're expropriating land. They're not even government officials. It's not even legal. There are land grabs going on. And what has the government done about it? They've gone silent. The press has gone in silent mode. They won't report on Sechejo. And I'm not in Polokwane, so I can't tell you what the ground truth is now. It's a media blackout. They're not covering the story anymore because they've occupied someone's land. They stole the land. And the excuse they gave was what we're allowed to because Ramaphosa signed the law. So you're telling me there are no land grabs? That's bullshit. That's like Ramaphosa saying in 2018, there are no farm murders. There are no farmers murdered in South Africa. No white farmers. That's a total lie. 4,000 white farmers and their families have been murdered since 1994 in South Africa, roughly. It's a rough estimate. It's close to that. This is nonsense. No farms were taken without compensation. Now, see, that's bullshit too. That's total bullshit. Because the case of the Akaram Broderie is a perfect example. The government lowballed them on land that they didn't want to sell, arguing that the land had to be, taken back for land reform, and they refused it. They offered them $20 million. They said, I'm not taking $20 million. This is my land. It's worth a lot more than that. So then they issued a notice to expropriate the property. They didn't have money for lawyers. AfriForum jumped in, spent 800,000 Rand defending it. The land wasn't expropriated. But then the pressure was applied, and they threatened to come back and take it. And out of frustration, the farmers sold the game ranch to Coal of Africa, a company headquartered in Melbourne, Australia, and half of its members of its board of directors are Chinese nationals. It has 4 mines. The 4 mines are in South Africa, not in Australia, not in China. And all the coal comes out of there and it's shipped where? I don't know. I suspect it all goes to China and doesn't benefit anyone. And by the way, the people who are the claimants to that land, the claimants who claim that our ancestors were on this land, whatever. I'm not going to rubbish their claim. They didn't get the land. Now it belongs to a Saudi prince. The coal mining company never did anything. So they destroyed a functioning game ranch where people went on holiday. They employed dozens of people. And they didn't even give the land back to people who claimed it was theirs. It went to a coal mining company. And they used this as an example to say that there's no expropriation. That's bullshit. That's expropriation. He's saying without compensation. It doesn't matter. And it will be without compensation now that they have the law. The ink isn't even wet on the law, and this Kotze guy is saying, well, there's been no expropriation without compensation. No shit, Sherlock. They haven't had time to get around to picking out the properties that they want for the caters. Give me a break. They should have instead made a specialist group to handle crime and police. Well, they shouldn't have got rid of the commandos. They should have beefed them up to be a much more efficient force. Do they tell you that when you are relocated, the relocator must buy land, carry all the costs, and relocate and pay them on top? I'm not sure where you're getting at. Anton says, I choose conscience, and it's not, okay, it's not just land, but yes, Tim Martens, I know. I'm the OG who told you that for years. How many times have I got to put this thing up on the screen? We'll do it again. I have prepared slides because people try to come out and tell us. But it's not just movable property. It's any property, folks. Any property. Any property. Section 25 allows for expropriation of anything. Anything the government deems in the public interest or for public use. And they decide what's in the public interest and what public use is. Not you. You have no say in it. The government decides for you. And they make a lowball offer to get you off your land, and then they come at you, and then they force you to give it up. And here is, once again, Section 25 of South Africa's Constitution. Before this idiotic law was ever passed, property may be expropriated only in terms of law. For public purpose or public interest, subject to compensation, that compensation must be just and equitable. And the last line in Section 25, property is not limited to land. Gerhard Lessing wants me to interview Citizen Concern. Once again, I have reached out to Citizen Concern before her finance channel blew up and she got 80,000 subscribers. When she only had a few thousand subscribers and my channel was bigger than hers while still being shadow banned. She didn't answer my email. Sent another one, didn't answer my email. Don't know if she got it. I'm not going to hunt her down. People know who I am in South Africa. She wants to come to my channel. She's welcome to come to my channel. I have no beef with her, but I'm not going to hunt people down. I don't have time for it. I'm busy trying to keep the information straight. And I don't, I haven't seen that video. I'll have to go back and look at it. But she just said something yesterday, which was factually way wrong, and I was very disappointed. Feener's back. Bandit says, worked perfectly. It was too effective and thus racist. No, it didn't work perfectly. There was still rural crime. Perfect system, there'd be no crime. No such thing can exist. Process started when someone's property. What's this? Process started. What? Neville's back. How's the mom? When they sign the act. It ends when they take someone's property. Yep. During Obama's administration, the Bureau of Land Management did try to conduct land grab. Oh, yeah. No. They tried to use eminent domain. Well, I've told about abuses of eminent domain, like the case in Bridgeport, Connecticut. It happens. But they still got to compensate them. Government maybe hasn't started expropriating land, but citizens are already invading. Yeah, well, Domino, you must not have been here 10 minutes ago when I mentioned Shisheho. Okay. If the property does not belong to whites and must expropriate, why are all the rich black politicians paying millions of our tax money to buy the best? I don't understand your question at all, Amanda. Anybody's property can be expropriated, and anybody's property will be expropriated. If you're an opponent of the government, or you're a threat to the government, or a caterer wants your house, your farm, they'll take it. She's allowed to lie about you because you're white, Chris. Who's allowed to lie about me? Who lied about me, Congo Chris? Thanks for that video you did on top 14. Can you share your X handle because I couldn't tag you when I shared the video? At WMW Chris. WMW Chris. Whiskey Mike Whiskey Chris. CHRIS. Yep, that's it. On Twitter. Who's lying about me, Congo Chris? Morn is doing great at the moment. Thanks for asking. Oh, Mom. I said Morn. I'm glad. Okay. I know she has good days and bad days. She won't do interviews because she does her best to avoid talking about the white oppression. I don't know. I didn't want to talk about white oppression. I was talking about issues in South Africa. This isn't a channel about white oppression. This is a channel about this is a channel about the world. But the focus right now, because all the events, is Africa, or South Africa in particular. But I've always done my program starting with South Africa, working across SADC, across all of Africa, the world hotspots that people don't know about, that are going to be hotspots, and the ones ongoing, and then come back and finish with the USA. So that's always what this channel's been about. So, whoops, tag came out. Hang on. Cricket tag came out. Okay. The lady who refused to speak to you. She said something bad about me, Congo Chris? When did she lie about me? I'm not aware of that. Please let me know that, because if she lied about me, I want to see that. Remember the WhatsApp message in a video that has already reached your desk? I hope so. William Petzer's a young voice, but he's willing to help people. I know who William Petzer is, Marissa Oberholtzer. I interviewed him 5 years ago. He demanded that he interview me first on his channel, and then he came on my channel. He told me I was naive. I'm still chuckling about that. Welcome on to subscribers. Please look at Chris's channel. He has interviewed most of the names in South Africa. Yeah, pretty much everybody you guys talk about, except for like Odez. I've never interviewed him. Coming from England, France, Germany, Holland, our ancestors were promised land, given to them farm, and live in continent was ours to keep. Okay. Be great if you get a chat. Well, yeah, it would be great, Tucker Carlson. Absolutely. Or Joe Rogan. Whites are legally obstructed from getting a job, or owning a company doesn't get more oppressive than stopping. Yeah, exactly. All right, back to this. So Jonathan Jansen says, will not be bullied, right? Then there's how to stand up to the vileness of Trump. Now, this is another snake in the grass person here. Jonathan Jansen, the U.S. president knew exactly which buttons to push to shake the frail threads that unite us. Instead of wondering why you have frail threads that unite you, you're going to blame Donald Trump for it. How does a vile person on the other side of the world so easily rattle the fragile unity of South African polity? The man in question is, of course, a convicted felon in his own country, a rapist and an unrepentant racist. He's also the U.S. president. Well, this guy's a racist. His commentary is racist, I should say. Jonathan Jansen, your commentary is racist. Donald Trump's not a racist. He's also not a rapist. That's slander. Actually, that's libel because it's in print. Jonathan Jansen, you think he won't sue you because you're in South Africa? Don't piss him off. South Africa's really pissing him off right now. Calling him a rapist? You can't take someone like this seriously. Donald Trump's not a rapist. There's no evidence of that. No evidence of that. And if you're talking about the Jong Kerr or whatever the hell that woman's name is, that's a bullshit case anyway. It's a bullshit case. He was accused of sexual harassment, and convicted in a civil case, not a criminal case. It's a civil case. So he's not convicted. It's not a crime. And there was no rape. And it was 20 years ago. The statute of limitations expired by 12 years. And the New York legislature fraudulently passed a piece of legislation that targeted a single person in the 12 months that they allowed these crimes, alleged crimes, to be considered. Only one case was tried. Only one complaint was filed. The law was intentionally passed by the legislature in New York and Albany to target Donald Trump because they knew about this woman and her bogus claims. So she filed her claim. She went to civil court. Trump didn't appear in court. And they convicted him in civil court of sexual harassment. That's not rape. Jonathan Jansen, I suggest you retract your libel, or your newspaper may find yourself liable for what's going on here. I wondered last week about the intense reaction this man evokes in a region of the world where he would not know the difference between Zimbabwe and Zambia, let alone Zaston and Zerost. Well, I don't think you know the difference between Montana and Miami, buddy. What's your point? And yet he knew exactly which buttons to push to unravel a tenuous unity of the same facility our World Cup rugby champions had used to build a sense of oneness among us. Imagine the president of another country offering refugee status to whites called Afrikaners. Forget for the moment the meaninglessness of the label in contemporary South Africa. Okay, first off, Jonathan Jansen, Donald Trump didn't say whites. And your bigotry calling Afrikaners whites shows your ignorance of South Africa. As I've said repeatedly, some black South Africans consider themselves Afrikaners, coloreds consider themselves Afrikaners, and some Indians even consider themselves those are not white people. What a dingbat. Excuse me? It was a battery charge, not rape. Don't open yourself up to libel, Mr. Big Mouth Commentator. Are you talking to me, Congo Chris? Are you talking to me? Are you calling me a big mouth commenter? Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for the clarification. That seemed out of character. Don't be attacking other posters. If somebody says anything you don't like, just ignore it or block them. Anyway, so... All right, so this is just bullshit. This is just garbage being perpetrated. This is racist, is what this is, race hustling. So apparently Afrikaners are poorly treated, the target of genocide and losing their land under a black government. Okay, Afrikaners are poorly treated by the government of South Africa. They are not the target of genocide. That's your words. Notice how the leftists are using this genocide thing. Do you hear anybody? None of you have said genocide, and I heard the word once genocide. I've never used genocide. That's bullshit created by Bell Pottinger and by the ANC to dismiss the claims of discrimination. We're talking about discrimination, not genocide. Now, there is a genocide. There's a cultural genocide of the Afrikaans language going on, perpetrated by the ANC. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about, they can't refute that. But there's no genocide of a people. That's nonsense. And this is bullshit they come up with to try to rubbish and diminish the concerns that people have. That's what this is all about. And it's bullshit. Their words. And I said that when I responded to my video. Watch my video, which not a lot of people watch, about the comments in the State of the Nation response by political party leaders. The only one that used anything worthwhile was Action SA's Chief Whip, Athol Trollop. And that comments at the end of the video, which is brilliant. But they're the ones bringing this up. The ANC. Rise Mzansi. They're the ones talking genocide, not white South Africans. This is bullshit, trying to attribute your language and your excuses to people who never said it. And they get away with it because the press just repeat it. And American news, New York Times repeats it. Losing their land under black government. Well, many people have lost their land through expropriation with compensation. You can't deny that. Apparently, let's quickly dispense with this nonsense. Okay, whites, about 7% of the population, still own nearly 50% of farming land. That's probably about accurate. Here, there was no mass expropriation of land despite 3 centuries of displacement and dispossession of land of the black majority. No mass expropriation. No one said there was mass expropriation. See, once again, they're throwing red herrings out there. No one said genocide. No one said mass expropriation. You said that to diminish the real cases. There's no genocide by any definition. No, there isn't. You're the one raising genocide. We didn't say that. But there is rampant crime that affects all of us. No shit, Sherlock. More black people die than whites in South Africa, even adjusting for racial proportions. Well, you can throw that claim in there. And why is that? Violent culture. That's why. No group can make more claims on poor treatment than black South Africans, where child poverty is the highest, educational standards are the lowest, and among whom squatter settlements have mushroomed. Well, squatter settlements among whites have mushroomed too. They were virtually non-existent under the National Party. But yeah, that doesn't diminish blacks. I'm not going to play whataboutism. But no one can make more claims on poor treatment than black South Africans. I think someone who's been gang raped and whose husband had their brains blown out in a farmhouse and his blood put on the wall saying kill the Boer has plenty to complain about, whether they're white, Indian, or colored. So what is this complaint about? It's about racial privileges lost. No, it's not. That's pure racist bullshit. When you are so used to privilege, says a guy wearing a business suit, writing for a newspaper, living a life of luxury. In my business, higher education, I've seen white men with pathetic CVs insist they're better than those who've accomplished more. It's an arrogance I will never understand. Oh, dear God. Oh, dear God. Oh, dear God. Yeah. Okay. All right. Wow. And I've seen black people do the same thing. What's your point? There's always people do something like that. He just dismisses the entire situation because he has anecdotal evidence that he's seen white men who have terrible CVs. Well, gee, why do they have terrible CVs? Because they can't get fucking jobs. Because they're denied educational opportunities. You get fucking 97 on your matric and you can't get into UCT because you're white? Spare me, Mr. Janssen, and your bullshit. Donald Trump's concerned about your welfare, then what's this? If you think Donald Trump's concerned about your welfare, then you're under the same delusion that the lap dancer strip club is deeply in love with you. Well, Mr. Janssen, if you're under the delusion that this is about expropriation of the compensation, well, then maybe you should hang out in strip clubs. I refer you to the executive order and all the grievances that South Africa has done to our national security interests, including working on nuclear collaboration with the Iranian terror state. You people are thick. Listen to what's being said. Listen to what's being said. What's this? Did you get my message, or is it YouTube hiding it? Curiosity. I have no idea if it's your message. I'm reading this guy's op-ed. I'm missing your chat. Let me come back here and see. I bet so many women throw themselves at Trump. I got your chat, Colonel. Got my Springbok baseball bat nearby. 142 race-based laws, Bert Goudnois. That's a symbol of a weak country, that you feel the need to discriminate against people based on race. We were a weak country too. We had affirmative action, which discriminated against the majority population for 50 years, with horrible outcomes for everyone, black, white, and brown. Mr. Sile Zikalala says D. McPherson's refusal to implement the Land Act is racism based on the fact that he's depriving others. The racist comments coming from Deputy Minister, he's not a minister, he's a Deputy Minister at least, Deputy Minister Zikalala is borderline racist himself. I think most of us have no idea how bad it is. I've heard the genocide claim before this happened, but it was from a U.S. YouTuber. Well, that's because U.S. YouTubers don't know what the hell they're talking about by and large. Yep. Less than 40% of our counters are white. The racist prejudice. Exactly. Thank you, Congress Chris. I don't know if it's 40%, but I mean, unless you're counting most of the colors. But yeah. Yep, exactly. Anonymous Lex is back. I'm so tired of all the racist-based BS. I'm with you, Anonymous Lex. Tired of getting mad because of the racist. I'm not mad. I'm just exposing them. Just finished watching Citizen Concerns video, and damn, does she speak some truths, Colonel. Check it out when you get around. Well, that's in stark contrast, Chronic, to what someone just said. Someone said she said something bad about me. I don't know if they're trying to stir trouble there. And they also said that she said some things that were controversial. So I don't know. I have to go watch it. Colonel, did you get my message, or is YouTube? Curiosity, I don't see anything from you there. Heidi Kruger, I see on X that Trump asked if people want the IRS to be abolished and go to flat tax system. Oh, flat tax system is everyone who's an adult who has income pays the same rate. I'm for it. 10%. Take 10% of my income. Done. Get rid of the IRS. I won't have to waste my time with dozens of sheets and hundreds of hours of accounting I have to do every year. I basically work for the government until May every year. Every penny I make from January to May goes to taxes. Yep. 55 intelligence officials signed that letter, could be losing their credentials. They already lost their clearances. That's done. Hey, D.L. Frater, thank you for your efforts, your years of efforts. I have tried to get so many to pay attention. Now President Trump addresses the topic finally. Yeah, now they're finally listening. Some text changed, not sure, but to read the notice, it still says 10th February. I don't know what you're talking about. Edward Smith, welcome to you. Pumalani, welcome. Louis Render, 14 land claims on our farm. There you go. See? Marissa Oberholzer, President Trump did the right thing by stopping aid to South Africa. People are now forced to see what was really happening. Exactly. Just like Doge is exposing all the money that was being spent frivolously in USAID programs and around the U.S. government. Yep. Is there any justice in the world? Names of these detractors and liars would go into the list. Yep. Do you ever sleep? Says Jurgens. Not much, Jurgens. U.S. Embassy in their statements would be questioned on that eventual day. You go begging for help. Okay. Colonel, when everything was in their favor, they didn't care a toot what happened to the Afrikaner. They cheer suppression. Yeah. Suddenly, the news media and South African, well, look, the Afrikaners don't want to leave. Look, we're talking all these people don't want to leave. Yeah, a lot of them don't want to leave. Most people won't leave. What's your point? It isn't germane to the conversation. The problem in South Africa is not enough black people are speaking up. This guy, Sama, tends to be the exception. Yeah, he is. And so is Koketsa Razani. He's an exception too. Colonel, do you own any cool guns? Congo Chris, that's a question I don't discuss. When I was a youth, my stepfather was a gun dealer, and our basement was loaded full of gun racks of rifles and shotguns and handguns that were chained and locked. And while we went on a trip to Maryland, because people knew he was a gun dealer, our home was broken into, and they raided our basement and stole all of the guns and burned our house down. Lost my home. So I don't talk about whether I have guns or not. I'll just say that if I were someone looking to cause evil, coming to my house would be a bad idea. Let's just leave it at that, okay? I can tell you that I like Beretta 9mm. I like Steyr bullpup rifles. Elise Stridham, that is fake news. The list that you're talking about is fake news. The 187 farms, that number is very specific. It comes from a list that was provided to AfriForum 5 years ago. It was debunked. They stopped it. That was a leak. And then once that list came out, those farms were taken off the list. What you're sharing is information, it's circular reporting that people are passing around that has no merit to it. They are claiming that the list has been provided to AfriForum. I reconfirmed with AfriForum that, in fact, that was 5 year or old information. So thank you for sharing that, though. No updates, Deeds. As I said at the outset of this program, no updates. No updates. Oh, good God. Oh, man. Literally, in the last 90 seconds, in the last 5 minutes, I've addressed citizen concern at least a half a dozen times. How am I going to see Citizen Concern's video that's released while I'm live streaming? Kinnear says she missed some facts. Yeah, she probably did. People are complaining about that. So, what's going on over here? Elise, you're welcome. No, Kinnear, I didn't see that. I haven't seen Citizen Concern's video. I don't watch a lot of her content. I am subscribed to her channel. I do watch some of her content. Be sure to hit the like button, folks. How can you come here and see me provide all this? This is something a lawyer, an advocate would charge you thousands of rand for this conversation, answer these questions. And I'll tell you, the ones in South Africa would give you wrong information. I'm giving the right information. And you can't push the like button? Honestly, that's just rude. There should be more likes than people here. We've had 3,000 people tune in and only 300 people hit the like button. Come on. I know people forget because you get wrapped up, and it's also not easy to do. So, there will be surprised by how many people move to the U.S. The taxpayer pool will get even smaller. Yeah, that's a concern. That's why the ANC's freaking out. Colonel, are you allowed to conceal carry in your state? Yes, Pennsylvania has concealed carry. Absolutely, we do. Yep. Did you see Saxon African is reporting the refugee application spiked to 6? Okay, all right. So there's once again, fake news. I don't know where you're getting that from. I don't know who Saxon African is, but that's shit reporting. There are no applications. There is no program. No program, no applications. Fake news. Now, what you might be talking about, Bitcoin Bot, is that the South African Chamber of Commerce, headed by Neil Diamond, may have gotten 60,000 requests for information about the program. That might be true. but there aren't 60,000 applications. There are exactly 0 applications because the application does not exist. The program does not exist. Does not exist. You're welcome. You heard that they recently tried to expropriate a farm. Yeah, I heard about that. Showing 0 likes here. No, you got to refresh, Phil. That's the problem. So I've got 346 likes. By chiding people, we pushed it up from 278 to 347. Thank you for the likes, guys. That's important because the more you like or dislike, if you have to dislike, the more you chat over here. We have a chat rate of 18, which is awesome. That brings people. That's why the audience has grown from 100 to 200 to 362. It's also a little bit later in the morning. But if we didn't have all the chat and the likes, then YouTube wouldn't push it. But see, the more you get engaged, then YouTube, the algorithm's like, ooh, check it out. This channel over here. There's a lot going on. There must be a popular topic or something going on. We can make more money off ads. Okay, the algorithm automatically diverts people and pops up and goes, hey, look, this guy's live. Go check out his video. This guy's live. And so the more you chat, the more you engage, the better chance we have of getting a larger audience for people to learn this stuff and new people. And that's we need more new subscribers. Okay, Bitcoin says, I'll be here much more. You're on the ball. Thank you, Bitcoin. And remember, it's 1:30 in the morning and I've had like 10 minutes sleep for the last week. My point for those who want to go to the embassy on Saturday, the hate is out there. Why put yourself in the fire line if you want to leave? Yeah, I'm concerned about that. I mean, as soon as they announced it, I was concerned about it. At first, I thought it was an EFF protest, and so I hope they get blixened, but they won't be. But I'm concerned if people will get blixened, they get out there. There'll be some PKs. People are going to get moored. I'm concerned about your safety. So just like Senecal 2, when 5 people told me they were going to go to Senecal 2. Thank you for the super chat there. Frequently asked questions, Pluxer. That was right in my ear. Senegal 2, because I covered the first Senegal situation. No one else did except ENCA. There was no YouTuber covering it, to my recollection. I covered Senegal 2. Big Daddy Liberty went there in person. I had 5 people that told me, my viewers, that they would go. 3 of them were women, and they all begged off for their own safety. Onati Kwaza said she was going to go. Erica was going to try to go. And there was another woman that was going to go. All of them begged off. And I said, that's fine. I don't want you to put yourself in harm's way because it's going to be a cock show. And then I had 2 other people. That Winston Smiles guy who came on my program early a few years back, he said he'd be there and he'd call in, and he left me hanging. I was set up by the Down Under crew. Then the other person just never got back with me. So the only coverage I had, which was coming from Boar Media, I think it was, or whatever the channel was, I got some of their footage plus things that were going over Twitter. And yeah, so that's how I was able to cover it live. I had 6,800 concurrent live stream viewers during that. We gained 2,500 subscribers. It was insane. Yeah, and people were like, go to the other channel, go to the other channel. I'm like, go to the other channel. If you don't have to be here, you don't have to watch my content. I'm not twisting your arm. You're not paying me to be here. I'm not paying you. So go do what you want to do. And they all went to the other channel, and I lost not all, I lost about 400 people. They went to the other channel, and 10 minutes later, they all came back, and I surged to my highest point because the other channel was crap. They didn't have a broadcast. They were just bullshitting. And they weren't even in town. They were out in some holding area. SKV9 says, you're a lifesaver. Thank you for that. The racial tension is building to a boiling point, it seems like, from our side. I don't think that's true. I think the politicians and the media are talking about a racial boiling point. I don't think there's a racial boiling point. There are spots where that's the case, but I don't think that's the case in the country. Saw your COVID beard on your first 2 videos in Cliff Central. Beautiful. Let it grow, Colonel. Yeah, I've had it for 5 years, though. It may be time for it to come off. Nick says, I've had a full 15 minutes of sleep. Embassy's not going to do anything different with or without you. Exactly. They're not going to care. And oh, by the way, guys, nobody's at the embassy on a Saturday. I don't know if people realize it, but nobody's there. Nobody's at the embassy on Saturday. You're not affecting anything. The only people at the embassy on a Saturday are the overachievers like me, who are busy writing reports, coming in, working on the weekend, and the Marines. That's it. Maybe some maintenance staff. Embassy doesn't work on Saturday. They're like ANC bureaucrats. They don't work on Saturday. Zane DeVille. Saxon African is using a form that you can fill in getting a refugee status for our stats. Well, there is no form. She's going to the State Department Immigration or the U.S. Immigration Service and downloading a standard form, which will mislead you because there's no form for this. That's a boilerplate form that's used when people flee as refugees from Darfur, from Myanmar, from Venezuela, from Haiti, and you go through the UN and the UN refers you. This is a completely unique, different situation. South Africa is not at war. It's not technically a failed state. It's a country with infrastructure where you can drive to the airport. You're not going to be walking on foot with your starving children barefoot through gun-infested areas of South Sudan to get to Uganda to seek refugee status. I don't know what she thinks she's talking about, but she doesn't know. Now, that form may very well be used when it's time, but nobody's going to accept it. They're not going to process it. When this thing kicks off, they're going to start from scratch. And whatever time you wasted may be your time wasted. So I don't know who this person is, Saxon, whoever. I don't know who that is. But these are people that don't know what they're doing. The difference here is I've worked at embassies. I've worked with consular sections all over the freaking world. Really share your channel for those who are not aware of you. Thank you, Marisa Oberholzer. Chris is consistent, dedicated. When I wake up, he's live streaming. When I go to sleep, he's live streaming. In between, he's uploading videos. They're protesting in Santa today. Oh, that's probably the EFF doing that. Jurgens, okay. No, Neville, Nick was being facetious about me exaggerating. He was being facetious. In other words, I get less sleep than I claimed I was getting. In July 2021, was very embarrassed for me as a black person. I want to change the culture, reputation, purpose of black people, do better, self-dependent, and productive. We need to be responsible. Pumalani, everybody needs to be responsible. Black, white, and brown. And thank you so much, Kea Leboa, for coming to my program. I didn't know you were black. Yes, I know the name is Pumalani, but some people who are white use African given names here. I mean, I've got a light white lady who goes by Naledi, which is Tswana for star. So I wasn't sure you're a black person. I didn't presume it. Now I know you're black. Thank you for being here, Pumalani. I really appreciate that. It's great to have, we have a broad audience. Notice I didn't use the term diverse, and I didn't use broad as in a term as an old stereotype for women. I meant broad as in wide audience, people from all over. Pumalani, we all need to be responsible, and it starts with the nuclear family. That's where it starts. If you're going to have children, you have to be with your partner. I'm not saying you have to be married with your partner, but you have to cohabitate with your partner. And you have to share the responsibilities for changing the nappies, for burping, for feeding, for raising, for inculcating values, for teaching about the sanctity of life. If you're a person of faith and you want your progeny to have faith, then it's your responsibility to ensure that they have your faith or whatever faith you want them to have, and raise them to teach them what's right and wrong. That's where it starts. And that is a 2-decade project starting today if you knock out a kid. It takes time. It doesn't take a village. It takes parents. Don't listen to Nicklin. She's full of crap. It takes time and it takes dedication, and it's hard. And then you've got to work on education. Don't tolerate broken schools with no abolition units and pit latrines. South African citizens have to be engaged in mass with their officials, not just when someone's angry about jabs and goes to Pretoria, not just when Indians are falsely accused of targeting black people in Phoenix, not just when people march on the parliament. Your counselors. I know they ignore people. I know a lot of them are feckless. They don't care. But if dozens of people show up at their place and politely stand outside there and bother them, eventually they either quit or they'll get the message. And you do it over and over and over again. Yeah. So Pumalani, we all have to be responsible. Black, white, and brown. And that's the bottom line. It starts with raising your children properly. The complete devaluing of life that we see in the world, particularly in South Africa, is shocking. The woman, the go-go, who was murdered, shot 20 times. For what? For what? In her little hut in KZN yesterday. I was busy working, helping community, and so many people showed me how great we are away from bad politicians. Yeah, the politicians are crap, Pumalani, all of them. Well, not all. There's a few decent ones. But the politicians are the problem. The Jujus of the world are the problem. The Sengizo Zibis of the world are the problem. These people are problematic. The ATM leader, the MK, these people have agendas, and it's not your interest. They don't care about you. Yeah, I love when, the people try to portray me as a racist. Where do you get that from? I never said anyone's better than anybody. I'm not better than anybody. I may apply myself better, but that's a different situation. But my inherent, immutable facts, my devastatingly good looks, my intellect, my skin color, my eye color, that doesn't make me better. My lack of pigmentation now in my beard, it went from strawberry blonde to dark to gray or to salt and pepper. It doesn't make me better or worse. And you're no better than me just because you're brown or you're black or you're white. That's not how the world works. That's how politicians want it to work, so they can gain favor and advantage and they can gain votes. That's how the media wants it to work, so they can sell newspapers and make money off of advertising. Captain Nightshade. That's how evil people want the world to be. But most people don't give a flying flip about skin color. But most people, unfortunately, not most, but many people are unfortunately far too easily swayed. Look how easy it is to incense a crowd of Muslims in Pakistan over a perceived slight. Look what happened in Afghanistan to that young woman who did nothing wrong. They accused her of not wearing a burqa or something like that. They hunted her down and they beat her to death. It was horrific. Right in front of the cameras and everything. Horrible. Remember that situation when Afghanistan was abandoned? Unbelievable. He's busy working, helping the community. Okay, so just this. Here in Hutmarico. Peter, you're in Hutmarico. Oh, I know Hutmarico. It's on the way. I go through Swatrugens, Hutmarico, and on to Rustenburg. Yep. We have an Afrikaans school. I know it. Majority black children. Yep. I know the school. You talking about the one right on the road? Right on the Bakwena Highway? Dani Kotsia, welcome to you. That school, if it's the one and there's like a petrol station or tuck shop across the street from it, if you're going towards Zeeros, it's on the left. Coming back, it's on the right. Is that the one you're talking about? Or am I confusing that? Maybe it's not Groot Marico, but there's a school right on the corner there. Yeah. Colonel, have you ever seen how Sunlight Soul cleans out the toughest dirt? Nope. Pixeling wanted to point out, Citizen Concern just released a video that I don't fully agree with. Please, yeah, another person said that. I have to check it out. Ilza, we'll just keep very quiet until we can apply. That's smart. Okay. Ambassador plays golf. Folks, what? No, actually, I'm unfair to the embassy. Do you know what they do on Saturdays and Sundays? They go to functions. So they are working 7 days a week. That was unfair of me. When I was in Ethiopia, because we were at the African Union, oh my gosh, we had every embassy plus every African Union mission all the time. I would go, I remember a Friday night, I went to a function at 6. I left at 7:30. I arrived before 8 o'clock at my next function. I left there at 9 o'clock. I went to another function, left there at 9:45, and left that function at 11 o'clock. And that's how it went. One of the functions I had to be in dress military uniform. So in my SUV, I had a military uniform. Another had to be in a business suit. And the last one I had to be in Dockers and a polo shirt. So I changed 3 times to go to those 4 events that night. It's crazy. It's not usually that bad, but yeah. Is this the first non-war refugee program the U.S. has seen? I don't know that that's true. I can't say. Gideon's back, encouraging the would-be refugees to Home Affairs and the U.S. Embassy to waste their time. Well, thank you, Gideon. That's very not helpful. I see you came back, Gideon, even though we chatted on Ronaldo earlier today. No, we're not sure you need passports. Refugees often have no documents. We issue travel documents. In this case, you probably will need them, but I can't answer that until we know. Okay, I'm scared for my life with all the protesting in KZN. The media doesn't even show. Sorry about that, Angie. Be careful. I don't know what a maxi passport is. What is a maxi passport? It sounds like a tampon. Tampon Timmy and maxi pads. Come on, guys. How many times must you be told for more details? Yep, exactly. I was fortunate to go to school where there were black, white, and Indians colors. Chris, I have a letter that was sent by the ANC in 1993 to members. I want to send you. I have that letter. I think I know which letter you're talking about. Put it in the WhatsApp group. Colonel, not going will be more proof President Trump feels fierce to speak out. Possibly. What's going to happen is no matter how many people go or don't go, it's going to be reported badly in South Africa's press, and it'll be distorted by the New York Times as well. Only person that trusts information in South Africa relations is you. Well, thank you, Bitcoin, but Yeah, Pumalani. I've never had racial issues either. I've been discriminated against because of race, but I don't take that personally. I just it's racism is the domain of weak-minded cowards. Yep. Okay, correct me too. Honestly, South Africa is very beautiful. They do. Oh my dude, my goodness. South Africa has amazing people. I wonder if I have on this computer, I don't know if I do, my War College stuff. Let me look and see if I've got my War College presentations here. And I've got a chart of South African faces, and it's a really good one. African Studies 2019. It might be there. Is there a Southern Africa one here? No, those aren't the briefings. Darn it. I was hoping those are the briefings. Oh, that sucks. Shoot, those are just my research documents. That was my last year. I thought I had the folder here. Damn it. Well, it's probably somewhere. Anyway, so let me look over here. I've got them somewhere. So anyway, it's not important. I was going to show you this image that I put together, this slide years ago. Yes, Tim Martens, we have WhatsApp groups. We have Telegram groups. We have a Twitter community, Making South Africa Great. If the USA doesn't send army protection for the whites, that will be a problem. You honestly think the United States is going to send troops to South Africa? That's incredibly provocative. I'm not sure where you're getting your concepts from, but that would never happen unless we were forced into a corner and people were being openly, brazenly attacked. Yeah, so I mean that's not helpful. Sending military there, that's an escalation of something. Okay, all right. So cool beans. Back to this. Be sure to hit the like button. Now we have more likes than viewers. That's good. That's better. Okay, so that's not what I'm looking for. Also, John Steenhuisen is suddenly waking up to security issues in South Africa when it comes to farmers. So is that Thabo Mbeki? No, that's Kenneth Mshwe and Athol Trollop. In the front row, you see here Kenneth Mshwe and Athol Trollop. On the left is Athol Trollop. It's fuzzy, but that's who they are. And then you see the EFF clowns behind them wearing their prison jumpsuits. Let's see what John Steenhuisen has to say about the new commandos.
And we must ensure that every single South African feels safe in their homes and at their place of work. And that includes
There's Juju.
Our farmers and farm workers.
And
The
Shlope.
dismantling of the rural safety units was a catastrophic mistake, and it opened the door to a collapse of rural policing and the targeting of our farmers and farm workers of all races by violent criminals and syndicates. Just this weekend, I was in Tabanchu, in Vicksburg, and other parts of the Free State, with commercial farmers and small-scale black farmers, to listen to their heartbreaking stories about how they fear for their families' lives, and they are preyed upon almost monthly by syndicates of stock thieves who destroy their opportunity to grow their businesses. Cases get opened, but are never investigated. They know who is responsible, but cannot secure arrests or convictions. This situation cannot go unaddressed. And as a result, in my capacity as Minister of Agriculture, I'm announcing that we're going to work with the sector to design a comprehensive plan to combat farm murders, stock theft, and improve rural safety.
Cyril didn't look impressed.
I look forward to collaborating with the Minister of Police and the entire Justice and Security cluster to bring an end to the scourge once and for all.
Yeah, this is about 30 years too late. 30 years too late. So, 407 likes. Cool beans. Let me get back to where I was at there. There we go. So the Grand Coalition partners, notice how they're using my terminology now. I've been saying that from the outset before there was even an election. I said it's likely there's going to be some sort of Grand Coalition. And when we got the results, I confirmed that. Anyway, not important. Let's not crow about being right. They are snapping at each other. ANC MPs have called out the DA for being pale. That sounds like a dog whistle for racism. Health Minister Aaron Motsoaledi told the DA's George Michaelis that to see a psychologist because NIH would be implemented, while Cameron Dugmore said the DA lied about the Bella Act being anti-Afrikaans. That's not a lie. It's anti-first language. It pushes English over everyone's first language. It's anti-Afrikaans, it's anti-Tswana, it's anti-Zulu, it's anti-Venda, it's anti-Xhosa. Anyway, so Just a bunch of nonsense. Okay, so here is a article trying to rubbish Teo de Jager, who was a guest on the program on Monday, the head of SAAI, and this is an intentional effort to rubbish his reputation, and I think it's slanderous. It's probably factual, but it's written in intentional effort to undermine his credibility because he's not on board with the government's denying that it's no compensation, denying that it's not taking people's property. Not my advisor, says Steenhuisen, distancing himself from a controversial farmer, Teo de Jager. This guy was head of the World Agriculture Organization. He's controversial. Questions have been asked about the proximity of controversial Southern African Agri-Initiative boss Teo de Jager to John Steenhuisen. De Jager was seen with Steenhuisen at the African Union Summit, and a close associate was appointed Steenhuisen's assistant. I'm not going to read all this, but it's a bunch of slimy stuff that's put together to go after this. True, not grand in any sense. I won't trust the DA after this. Okay. It was a fight against communism. What's this? Okay. How can this idiot say there are farm murders when the president said there are none? Okay. All right. So what's the next thing here? Public spat. Now, this is the part where someone was talking about Zikalala earlier. Public Works Deputy Minister censors DA for taking credit for ANC's work. Minister fires back that Public Works was in dire state when he stepped in. And it was. That's why they gave it to him. That's why you were demoted from a ministerial position to a deputy position, Zikalala. The public spat between the Public Works Minister and his deputy played out in Parliament this week during the State of the Nation address. In a properly functioning government, McPherson would simply fire this guy, but he can't. And it's intentional that Zikalala is there to undermine the success of that ministry. Yep, that's the intent. The Amazulu king acted beyond the scope of his powers in firing the Inganyoma Trust Board. Ooh, what's going on there? Yep, well, he suspended them. A legal opinion was found that the Amazulu king, Mizuzulu Kwazwalatini Zulu, did not have the powers to suspend members of the Inganyama Trust. Committee had asked for clarity on whether the Inganyama, the king, who was the sole trustee and chair of the board, had the power to suspend the board. Well, if he's the only trustee and the sole member of the board, why doesn't he have the power to suspend the board? You only see the issues once a crime is committed. Yep. How do I join the WhatsApp? Well, are any of my mods here? Oh my goodness. There's a bunch of WhatsApp groups. Okay. Let me find one that's... is this the one? No, that one doesn't have a lot of people in it. That's not it. I don't know which one has the most members. Yeah, that one has this one. Okay, well, let's go with this one then. Okay, I always have a hard time finding how to get the links. Okay, and I come back up. It should give me the address. Invite. Okay, here you go. Copy link. All right, so here you go. Now you can use this if you want it. That's one of the... That one doesn't have a lot of members. I don't know why, but the Telegram group has hundreds more. So whatever. That you'll get it. I post everything in all the groups. I don't know where my mods are at, man. They must have fallen asleep. They're tired. They work too hard. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people in Springfield. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. All right. Let me get to this one now. Okay, this is we have 320 members in this now. Well, that's just after a couple days, and we haven't really pushed it very hard. But this is the Telegram, or not Telegram, the Twitter group. Oh, the crowd is shrinking. What's going on? Paste. There you go. All right, well, I'm not going to rubbish Citizen Concern, but I will go take a look at her video since you all keep mentioning it. Yeah, they took the land reform portfolio away from agriculture. The farms now that can now be used both remote. I don't know what that is. The Zulu king fired all the committee and his trust, but the president is the one supposed to be in charge of this fund. Why would the president be in charge? How can I mod for you? Well, Domino, I have to know who you are. You have to agree to a set of rules. It's just one page of rules. I have to see you perform in the chat for a bit and see what kind of person you are. I've seen you just briefly here. It seems like you're okay. If you're around next week, ask me again. All right? Is that fair? Just got to see in the chat and see how I behave. I don't make moderators until I see how they behave for a little bit. So, and I've just started noticing in the chat recently. But yeah, you can become a moderator for me. I'm one of the few YouTubers that puts out terms and conditions for the moderators. Neville's son was killed in 2007. I didn't know that, Neville. Sorry about that. Yep. Alrighty, folks. Where are we at here? 427 views. Got some nice super chat revenue in this stream. Thank you for that. Let me take a look at where we are on subscriptions. 39,471. I think I'll have to do another video to get us to 40,000 today. Leslie Ann Moon says, I'll be a moderator. Leslie, same thing. I don't recognize you until recently, so both of you ask me next week. You can needle me about it. I'll dig up the moderator rules because I don't have them handy. You're welcome, Domino, and I can use the moderators. Here's the thing. So let me explain this. When I started doing this, I hadn't really been involved much in the live streaming, and so I undervalued moderators. Kyle Green ZA wanted to be the first moderator, so I let him be it, and he just started smacking people who he didn't like. People were saying things he didn't like. He didn't like what they had to say, so he censored them. He deleted their chat and gave them timeouts. Well, I overruled that, and it hurt his feelings, and so he disappeared and didn't come back. A few months later, he came back, but then disappeared. I hope he's okay. I haven't seen him since. Hendo was among my first moderators too, and Hendo gave someone a timeout, and I overrode it and restored the person. And Hendo didn't take offense. He appreciated it was my channel, and that's why I decided to make a code of conduct, one-page code of conduct. The bottom line is it's my channel for all of us, for this community, for the Wyatt Army. But if someone is deleted by mistake, and Erica was having trouble because of her strokes and being a moderator, and she was deleting people by mistake, and so we had a problem there for a while. But it's my prerogative to overrule you. But yeah, did I see what tweets? Do you think the way the DNF reform are talking about the refugee status, you think Trump will just say, leave them there? No. Gosh, why do people think that? Why do people think that? Trump doesn't care what AfriForum has to say. He doesn't care what the DA has to say. Yeah. Now, I can't tell you if John Steenhuisen gets to see Trump, what will happen, but I don't think he's going to see Trump. Thank you for your subscription, Andre van Staden. This is what the country has come to. The price of a cell phone is a life. Yeah, no kidding. That's sad. Reddick is way too busy. No, Reddick, it's okay. I've got mods. Hope all is well. Dino, yeah, things okay. Thanks. I'm new to you, a member, and here from now on for news and views. Well, thank you, Leslie, and I appreciate that. So, but yeah, Leslie and sorry now, hey, Paladin, welcome, Paladin. What are you laughing about? Cheryl's here. Who did an interview with Ibrahim Rasul? I didn't see that. Racism is a pigment of a person's imagination. Yeah, it's a figment. Yeah, Colonel won't make me a moderator because... No. Matthew won't be a moderator. Matthew's lucky he's here at all. He's lucky he's here at all. And Domino, yeah. So Domino and Leslie, yeah, you guys hit me up again next week, okay? Steenhuisen's big chance to make something himself. Robert ZA, there's 50 Rand, thank you. Yeah, no, I saw that. Did Rob come up with that? That's clever. Yep. A play on words. 39,475. So we're 525 away from hitting that 40,000 mark. Isn't that incredible? It's incredible, folks. It's a lot of work, though. We have to work this hard and chase the subscribers. What I really hope is that Erica can do as she wants. Neville, I didn't say she couldn't. I just said that Erica had some challenges, and even before she had her stroke, she was deleting people by mistake and apologizing all the time. Yep. 16 Diet Cokes. Nope, I don't eat Diet Coke. I hate Diet Coke. That's disgusting. McDonald's, Burger King, 2 to 4 hours sleep. Yeah, there you go. Wish that Trump could listen to your shows. So do I, Michael Marks. I wish Elon Musk would find my content. I mean, he's promoting everyone else's content all the time and promoting stuff people simply retweeting. They don't even know what they're talking about. And so I really wish... Yeah, exactly, Artie. Diet Coke is, artificial flavors, nasty. So yeah, Herman van der Westhuizen, welcome to you. Yeah, thank you, Robert, for the super chat there. Really appreciate that. We had a huge one to start this program off, so good round of super chat. Anyway, Mexican Coke, yes it is. Arctic, you found what I'm talking about. That Mexican Coke, why? Because it's in bottles. That's where Coke should be, in bottles. And it's made with pure cane sugar, not high fructose corn syrup. It could be the rum and tequila. That's true. Actually, when I have a Schuss beer, Arctic, I put the cans of Coke in there with high fructose corn syrup because it doesn't matter. But when I drink a Coke, it's just the Mexican Coke. Matthew says Starbucks is overrated. A lot of people say that. But a lot of people go there and spend $7 on a cup of coffee, and I own shares. So please, spend all your money at Starbucks. I'm happy about that. Glass with ice. It's imperative for ANC and the government to keep us in this country. Yeah. Hank Turner, thank you. You're very welcome. It's my pleasure. Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate being here. So I'm trying to think what else I want to cover here before we wrap up. Anyone seen the ENCA piece titled Africana Refugees, How Afro Reform, Musk, Fox News, Tucker Carlson made Trump attacks? Yeah, that's just pure propaganda. I didn't see that. Yeah, people get the wrong idea when speaking about Mexican Coke. Yeah, you're right. That's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about. That's a good point. Narendra Modi is in Washington. Oh, dear God. He's meeting Trump today. I think India is not very interested. Yeah, no, Narendra Modi is, I didn't meet him. I saw Modi. So last year, no, was it last year? No, the year before with BRICS. When the BRICS Summit was going on in 2023 and I was in South Africa, I had lunch with Mark Oppenheimer, the attorney who tried the case against Julius Malema. Mark Oppenheimer is a friend, and Mark and I met up for lunch. And we were leaving from lunch. We came downstairs, and who comes into the hotel but Modi, the Prime Minister of India. You should have seen all the Indians there. And we were like from here to the bookcase behind me, that close to Modi. It was pretty cool. Boy, they loved him. They loved him. I understand if you eat McDonald's, why would you drink Diet Coke? It's not going to cancel the fat. Exactly. No, it's 2 a.m. on the East Coast. Yep, that's what that clock says, 2 a.m. Okay. It would be mind-blowing if Elon promoted my channel so people would find it. We would go over 100,000. And I'm already contemplating, if I got to 100,000, getting that YouTube plaque, taking it out to the woods and doing like Kid Rock, getting a 12 gauge and shooting at it and blowing it up and then showing you what it looks like. Okay. Hopewell watched you, another guy, huh? Hopewell is well watched you with another guy. I don't know what you're saying, but thank you. Thank you. What's your thoughts on having an interview with Morning Shot? Okay, guys, I have a segment here. Okay? And it's before Byron took over Morning Shot. So let me see if I can find it here real quick. Okay, where's it at? Come on, where's it at? It's not it. It must be in here. Darn it. When I'm looking for something, I can't find it. It's not there. I must have deleted it out of here, but come on. There it is. There it is right there. There you go. You want me to interview Morning Shot? I have a program, The Bribers. Chris and Byron. We do this episodically. We were doing it every 2 weeks, but since he took over full control of Morning Shot, neither one of us have the time to do it all the time. Guys, I mean, I've interviewed everybody in South Africa, except Citizen Concern, Unati Kwaza, Willem Petzer, Ronaldo, Byron, Roman, Sile Ingubisa, Big Daddy Liberty, Peter Groenewald, Athel Trollop. The list goes on and on and on. Steve Hofmeyer. This goes on and on. Yeah, right now I'm not trying to interview other YouTubers. Ernst van Sale, Ernst Roots, Kali Creel, Derek Uman, Derek Herman. The list goes on and on. Phil Craig, Hein Marks, Des Palm. Yeah. So Petzer is going to the embassy on Saturday. Okay. Lucky you. Who? The person going to the embassy or me? Love my country, but hate those politicians. Yeah, they are evil, Robert. Matthew Dixon says Matthew Dixon is a nut job. Matthew, why would you say that? Man, that would be awesome hearing the Colonel and the Hofmeier's thoughts on this. Yeah, but Steve Hofmeier and I have been on. Let me see if I can find it. So, okay, hang on a second. Show all. Sorry. So this is from a few years ago. I see Steve every time I go to South Africa. I usually have a bride at his place. And he had me sing with him, too. I sang with him at Velbedock at his concert. Okay, want to get some more exposure. People know about Steve Hofmeier. Now, let me ask you about Die Land. This is the song you sang with Bobby van Jaarsveld, Bob van Blerk, Jay from Jay and Leanime, and then I don't know if he likes to be known that way, but that's how I know him, Jay and Leanime.
Yeah.
And then Ruan, then Ruan du Toit. Ruan has a very unique voice. Bulk has a unique voice. You have a unique voice. But you guys, I don't know how you guys wrote this thing or who wrote it or who did this. Okay, look, I don't mean to sound like a fanboy, Steve, but this song is powerful. It's brilliant. The video is excellent. Just the way that you guys are sitting there and how it's amazing. Tell me about the song.
Yeah, I didn't write the song. We have a very professional songwriter who could understand the situation to verbalize that kind of song. What we needed was a patriotic song that had no political baggage. It's almost impossible to get songs like that now. I must warn you that the other artists would probably not have done any other song. They're not politically minded artists. I don't hold that against anybody, of course. The fact that they kept me in the song, I'm quite grateful for, because when I heard it, I went, this is just incredible. It's a song I'm envious. I wish I could write a song like that. We got the other guys. They're probably the 3-4 most prominent singers in male singers in Afrikaans, and we sat and we recorded that. Came out nicely. We were all in the same key. Very different artists, as you've mentioned there. The song became a huge hit. Immediately became controversial because there were five white boys singing it. Where's the black guy? But of course, it's a song from a very specific culture, a very specific language. It shouldn't be strange to have 5 white boys singing about it. It's a very non-racist song. It's a very proudly cultural song. And like I said, it comes with no baggage. So it became a massive hit. Here and there was problems at one of the festivals when it won Song of the Year.
Yeah, so Steve and I spoke for 2 hours. I ended it because Tina's Fun to Vestoys, and thank you for subscribing. I didn't want to overstay my welcome. And every time I go to South Africa, I see Steve. We communicate frequently. We chat occasionally, talk on the phone. And Steve's a great guy. I consider him a friend, and that made me a target for a hate wanker in South Africa that doesn't like Steve Hofmeier. But that's fine. Steve stands up for his people, his culture, his language, and he's viciously attacked for it. And it's unfortunate because I've never heard him say anything that's inappropriate. Maybe he has, but I don't see the guy all the time. But at Velbedock at this concert in early 2023, I was there and I met Skulk Burger Sr. What had happened is that Steve was supposed to do this at the Tal Monument, and I scheduled my trip around Steve Hofmeier's concert at the Tal Monument because I thought that was going to be epic. Well, the cowards that run the Tal Monument backed out of it despite they had a contract, and Steve didn't want to fight him in court. So Skulk Burger Sr., who is a big advocate for Afrikaans culture, a former Springbok, stepped up to Steve and said, hey, you can have it at Velbedock. So he had a Velbedock. So when Steve told me that he mentioned Skulk Burger, I thought he was talking about Skulk Burger Jr., the Saracens and the Springbok guy. And a Stormer. So I wanted to interview Skulk. I had met Skulk Jr. in Philadelphia when Saracens played Newcastle in 2015, I think it was. So I took a selfie with him there when he came out of the game. But because there weren't many people at the game, only 8,000 people showed up. So I wanted to interview him, and I asked Steve, I said, can you give me his contact? Ask him if I can interview him. Steve goes, yeah, sure, I'll do that. So he gave me the number, and I called, and the voice didn't sound right. And I realized it was Skulk Sr., and it was his farm because I'd never been to Velbedock. So went to Velbedock, and he agreed to an interview. So we set up an interview in his place, and I actually helped him because he had a swarm of bees in the dead stump of the tree where the branch had died off, but the tree was alive. And there were thousands of bees in there flying around, and they were a nuisance. And he was like, "We're gonna have to kill them." I said, "No. I know some beekeepers down in Somerset West. They can remove them. You don't have to kill them." Anyway, so we did the interview. Then I was walking around taking some pictures during the daylight when the warm-up band was playing, and some guy comes out of this little, wine tasting building on the side there. And I'm sorry, before that, Skulk had said, "Hey, don't you have a VIP wristband?" I said, "No, I just I bought a ticket, but I mean, I didn't, they weren't even taking tickets when I got there." He said, "No, we got to get you up here, get you a VIP wristband." So I went up there and I met with Skulk's other son and hung out with him and his family, and it was nice. Was up on way up behind the performance area. So then I walked down the stage. I'm taking pictures of the crowd and getting some video footage, and then I walk back up past the wine tasting building, and some guy comes out and goes, "Are you Mr. Chris?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Come here." So I'm like, "What's going on?" I walk inside, and there's Steve Hofmeyer. And Steve's like, "Hey, Chris." I get a big hug. We start chatting. And when Steve and I start talking about history and culture and language and U.S. and South Africa and music, we could talk for hours. We really can. And so I realized that I was giving the manager DTs because Steve had to get ready to go on stage. I said, "Steve, let's chat later on." So he's like, "All right, we'll chat later on." So Steve went out, or he went and got ready, and then I went back out, set my camera up, and I was filming the concert as it got dark and getting different angles of the music and everything. And then Steve started saying something in Afrikaans, and basically to the following effect. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a dear friend of South Africa here tonight, a dear friend of the Afrikaner of the Boer. He's an American. And I'm like, okay, he might be talking about me. So I started making my way. I got back to my phone, paying attention to it. And he said, "Hey, let's welcome up. I'm here on stage, Chris Wyatt." And I'm like, "Whoa." And he's like, "Get up here." So I ran around, came up on the stage, and he introduced me, down his hands, it's Chris Wyatt, and the crowd cheered, like 8,000 people. It was really cool. And then he played the Ballad of the Green Beret, and he said, "Do you know the words?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Sing it with me." I'm like, "I can't sing." So Steve Hofmeyer puts his arm on my shoulder, brings me danger close, and like this close, and we sing the Ballad of the Green Beret. It was pretty wild. I put that on YouTube, and I got a copyright claim because it's a cover song, but it's Steve Hofmeyer and I singing it. We wound up putting it somewhere else. I think on I could probably put it on Twitter. That's what I should do. I should find that video and put that on Twitter because it won't be a problem on Twitter. Werner van den Berg, all that is required, for evil to prevail is for good men to do nothing. Thank you for all you're doing, Colonel. Your support means more to us than words can express. Well, thank you, Werner. I appreciate it. The reward for me is that people are finding the channel now. Thank you so much for 350 Rand. I've been doing this for a long time, doing it inside the wire, doing it for black folks, doing it for color folks, doing it for white folks, promoting Sotho, Tswana, and Afrikaans language and culture. Been doing it for a long time. And getting rewarded with loyal followers and loyal viewers, but an audience that is not really the size that we should have. And now we're getting there. So I'm really grateful for you all showing up. Thank you for the super chats and everything. Rikus, don't worry about autocorrect. It happens to all of us. It might confuse me if I read it, but we'll figure it out. You better super chat in US dollars when you arrive. Exactly. My family is something that hold many people back from leaving. My mother's sick, so can't at the moment, but really want to leave. Thought you could set Morning Shot straight because the information is... Oh, okay. Maybe teach him how to put out content on YouTube. Well, he does put out pretty informative content, Byron. Do you not like his content, or is there some particular... I mean, I haven't seen it, but people are telling me that Byron claimed that it takes 4 to 5 months to go to the U.S., and he described it as asylum. Well, it can take that long or longer and take a lot of money to do asylum, but it doesn't affect you in South Africa. You can only apply for asylum if you're in the U.S. That's factually incorrect. Yeah, so if he said that, I don't know that he said that. People are claiming he said that. I haven't seen the video. But once again, asylum directly from the U.S. law. People may only file an application if they're physically present in the United States and you're not a U.S. citizen. You can't file. This is a refugee program, not an asylum program. So I don't know where people get their information. I don't know if he said that, but that's not the case. Did you know Steve was a child in all states? I have no idea. Oh yeah, he's got kids everywhere. Yeah, Ronaldo's always joking he's his dad because Steve Hofmeyer came to PE back when Ronaldo was conceived. So, so he claims. Anyway, best guess that this will work. Anyway, yeah. I didn't write the rules, but I certainly am familiar with the rules, and I've worked in multiple embassies in Africa and around the world, Middle East and Europe, and so I am not a subject matter expert, won't profess to be one, because there is no subject matter expert until the rules are published and the program for this, and then we can all become experts. But yeah, I do try to set people straight. So, all right. White wedding. Okay, cool beans. It is now 2:15, and we've been at this for 3 hours and 15 minutes. Wow. 452 likes and some good super chat revenue tonight, folks. Fred says, when I arrive in the States and I land in Pennsylvania, I'll reach out to the Colonel and give him a handshake and hug for all the help. Well, we'll have to meet at Starbucks because I live in an undisclosed location, somewhere under the brick and steel of an undisclosed building. Yeah, you bring your dog and shit on my lawn, you won't be welcome here. Yeah, Jacobus Johannes Palm says, thank you for your transparency. I have a friend named Palm, James Palm. We went to college together, university. Both became lieutenants. He became an artilleryman, and I became an intelligence officer. After the Gulf War, he's like, screw this, I'm done with this. And he did his 3 years, and he got out. And I spent another 27 years after that. So the people leave South Africa for America. How many years do Cater will be rocking up in the U.S. beaches? Well, they won't be welcome. We're not going to welcome the oppressors. We didn't welcome the genocideers from Rwanda to America. Yep. All right. So, okay, folks. I think I've entertained a lot of questions tonight. I hope you got the answers you were looking for. It is now 9 o'clock in South Africa. Excuse me. It's 8 o'clock in Munich. Yep. Never wants to be my neighbor. Won't you be my neighbor? Yes, I live under a bridge because I'm a troll. Where's my troll? My troll's down here. You can't see him. Oh, there he is. He's down there. You can just see him right there by my finger. There's my troll. All right. I hate to drop off. I'm gonna drop off, folks. Be sure to hit the like button. Try to get us to 500 likes because there's 300 of you here right now. Maybe some of you haven't hit it yet. And I'll see you again in the morning. It's Thursday, so we'll do normal news unless something comes up. In the meantime, I need to reach out to a few people in South Africa. And yep. So thanks, guys. And appreciate it. Thank you for your patience, and I hope that you felt you were treated well while you were here. All right, catch y'all later. God bless. And as soon as we know anything, we'll let you know. And if something comes out and I'm not online, somebody send me a WhatsApp and go, Chris. All right. Good night, everybody. Well, I want to go to bed, but I'm probably going to make a video right now. Got to keep the momentum going. Got to keep people informed. All right, folks. I'm going to wrap up with this video. I hope you like this because there's about 298 of you here. This is a video I put together. This is an AI-generated song, apparently, but I love this song, and this is a slideshow of places I've been and some of my experiences in life. I hope you like this. Cheers, and be safe.
Close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon. Turn us to thousands, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
This morning I'm sharing the stage with guinea fowl, and quite a few of them, as you can see. Sharing the stage with guinea fowl and barking dogs in a residential area here in Somerset West.